Jay Crawford, Adam the Bull, Garrett Bush, and so many big names, it would take me hours to say all of their names. The ultimate Cleveland sports show. Booyah.
I don't know. I can't keep track of the days. That's Mike's job. Look who's here. Everybody's here. It's Tyvis.
Hey. Tyvis that came back
in a while.
My man. He ain't been here since Memorial Day.
Yeah, I don't know what
last
he's doing.
year.
Stay off my
I swear.
Stay off my people.
It has been a long time.
Did you get any good food in Chicago? That's all I care
You
about.
know what? I went to Nobu. I've never been like
that's
so.
hoity-toity right there.
Nobu is like the place that all the Instagram models and influencers say you got to go to Nobu for the sushi. And I'm a sushi eater, so let me try it. So it's very tough to get into, but I was with Josh.
You got people.
Yeah, I was with Josh Perry, and they go all the time, so they was able to squeeze us in.
Yeah.
The best sushi I've ever had in my life.
I
don't think I can ever.
Are they like cutting up the fish in the back room or something? Like
I've been to Nobu in San Diego. Best sushi.
I don't think I can ever eat sushi anywhere else.
Really?
It's that good. Yeah.
So all right. Are you treating if we all go to Chicago?
It's a nice ticket. It's a nice ticket for sure. We can definitely split it, but I get us in for sure.
Now here's the crazy part about it. I don't know how to pronounce that. That sounds like a dating app, a shady one. Nobu.
It's in a Drake song. That's how you know it's fancy.
Yeah, I'm on here with Nobu. Like, we single. We good. Your text messages just disappear.
Nobu.
Like, you just text them and gone. Nobu.
They should create that.
Start it. It's a new business for you.
Homeland Security is not having that. People think them boys is gone. They're like, sir, we went and subpoenaed the towers. We know where you've been at.
All right, guys. By the way, before we get into this football nonsense, I got some important things to talk about. Number one, I want your takes on all this. The two things that irritated me this morning as I'm making my way through the day. First of all, as Tyvis knows, I had some nice bagels this morning.
Yeah, two of them.
Two bagels.
Yeah, two bagels this morning.
Yes. I weighed in before I ate the bagels, though. All right. Now, I'm in the bagel store, right? There's a number of – this is a very popular place, Cleveland Bagels. Shout out to them. It's a great place.
That's the best – you say that's the best bagels?
Best bagels in Cleveland, no doubt. And three people in front of me in the line, there's two women there, and they're like – so if we do a big order, would you cut the bagels in half and then cut them in quarters? And that's inappropriate, right? It's the morning time. I want my breakfast to get in and out. Is that inappropriate? Do I have the right to be mad in that situation?
No, you're good. No a la carte. You're not going to split that 4 ways. That's terrible.
What are you doing?
I've never really heard of bagels being split 4 ways.
4 ways? Bagels? What are you, crazy?
Man, first of all, I'm not going to the bagel store. Let's stop there.
You don't go to the bagel store?
You don't eat bagels?
I'll buy some bagels from the store. I'm not wasting my time at the bagel store. I'm just not.
Wait a second. Where are you buying bagels then?
Go to Heinen's.
No, that's inappropriate.
Listen,
that's a foul. That's a foul.
Actually, I'm kind of the same.
Oh,
I
my
just go
God.
get it.
I got to school you guys.
I got a time.
Is there really that much of a difference?
Yes.
I don't know what am I going to do with these guys.
I go to Panera.
What am I? Oh, my God.
I'm going to Panera.
Hey,
Panera don't got good bagels.
Wow.
Let's go. Get the budget going. We are going to New York.
Listen,
we're going to New York to get you bagels.
Have you ever noticed that New Yorkers always say you got to go to New York for everything, right?
Right.
No.
Except for these sports programs.
No,
real
Brad. You go to New York for 3 things.
What? Not a Knicks game.
No sports. Screw sports. There's only 3 things I go to New York for: pizza, bagels, and Jewish food. That's it.
I agree with you on the
bagels, pizza, bagels, Jewish food. There you go.
I'm not like a bagel lover, but Panera cinnamon bagel,
whatever.
Raisins,
God, cinnamon on a bagel.
So that ain't the best bagel they got.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, y'all, this is crazy.
All right, number 2.
I'm a fat kid. I eat all of it.
Number 2. If you are walking across the street, and I'm like, I'm trying to drive, but I'm waiting for you to go, Doesn't it need to be a little hop to your step? I mean, come on.
You know what?
Right?
I relate to you on that one, actually. Because when I'm crossing the street and the car's coming, I always jog across because people don't want to wait.
Exactly.
But it definitely depends on the age of the person.
Oh, young people, they don't give it.
It also depends.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. If it's an old, you be patient with an old person.
It also has to depend on where you are, because what neighborhood you're in. Because some of them go across the street like they don't care. Like you just wait.
You gotta get the athletic jog.
Listen, when I was in Chicago, my wife almost hit somebody because they just walked straight out. No. And so we were turning. We was at the light and we was turning, and this person just popped out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So I was upset with my wife. Like, you gotta be more careful and watch where you're going. Later that day, I caught an Uber. He almost did the same thing.
It's crazy. Well, especially in big cities.
Yeah, they don't care.
And one final thing. I know Mike wants to get us to sports, but don't worry about it. We'll get there. Listen, I was driving. Somebody's got to look this up. I was driving. I get off the highway on 90. I get off at West 45th, West 44th? Well, I can't remember the name of the street when you get off there. I'm making a right. I'm going, making my way to the bagel store, of course. Of course. I drive by this house. This guy walks out of the house. He looks like, he just got out of a Trump rally. He's a mess. And all of a sudden I look on his front porch and I'm like, is that a dog? And I don't think it was. I think it was a giant black pig.
What?
Pig?
In Cleveland. I got to go back to this house.
He got us all like,
this thing was like 500 pounds.
Pig.
Where are you going?
In Cleveland. It was like West 45th and some side street off of there.
I stay on the east side, so I like
that. Sounds like that right there is some Worcester stuff. They got
crazy.
Bars.
G, come on, G.
Cut that pig up and let's eat.
G, G, give me a take on that real quick.
Real quick, Mike. Come on.
These dudes.
Giant pig.
Farm animals are not pets. Stop having raccoons, pigs.
What's the matter with you? It's in Cleveland.
Possums. That's not allowed.
Would you eat a possum real quick before we move to
sports?
Not at all.
No. Crazy. Who the hell would eat a possum?
Well, before you start,
McNuggets is like, who said anything about
McNuggets?
Who eats
What
those?
are you so worried about?
How do we get on eating possums when we have legitimate Baker news and other stuff we got to get to?
Wait a minute, Mike.
The fans want the possum
before
talk.
we start with our first one, I just want everybody to know that I thought about it. Giannis is definitely the greatest to ever touch
Oh
the
my
ball.
God!
But we're
Brad,
not. That's for another discussion. Go ahead.
Next week.
Go ahead.
You want to yell at him for a minute before we move on? He says Giannis is the greatest basketball player.
Just saying.
He what?
I'm
He
just
said
saying.
Giannis is the greatest basketball player ever.
Brad, we're having the discussion next week.
No,
We got some real stuff to get to today.
Hold on.
Listen, let us go ahead.
No, we got other stuff to get into.
We're gonna get to it.
My man is entitled to his opinion. His aunt and I went to high school together, so I like he's good in my book. But he's just a young guy. That's all he is.
That's it.
So you telling me who would beat Giannis in the game with one-on-one?
Right there.
Mike
George, greatest player ever.
Yeah, let's go. We got Watson stuff.
Let's roll out.
This Giannis topic will be a full topic next week when Thomas is here.
Take it easy.
We got some good stuff. We got two guests coming on.
Let's hear the clip of Mike Polk yesterday. I'd like to play that. This is Mike's idea.
At this point, I really think maybe the best case scenario is the year, a whole year.
So you're going the other way.
Here's what I'm thinking. All right, you said it yourself. It can't be 0 games.
Right.
It can't be 2 games because Tom Brady got suspended how many games for deflating footballs?
4.
Right.
Yeah.
And that doesn't look good. Like I know that we shouldn't care about what looks good, but they do care, whether that's right or not. If it's half the season, then your playoff hopes are pretty much dashed, I would say, at that point, unless they do something ridiculous. And then he comes back, and then what do you do? At that point, you lost a year of his contract. If you can still maintain that year of his contract and count next year as his first year, which is a possibility from what I understand, is that not true?
Yep. Yes.
Then you get a year off. We have that much more cap space next year because he'll have on that ridiculous contract for $1 million if it's his first year. So the more I think about this, the more I think that possibly the best case scenario is the entire year.
Now, guys, I think Mike makes an interesting point because if the contract tolls, you get him for another year. The problem is we don't know what the Browns' record's going to be after 8 games.
Yes.
But ultimately, the more I think about this, I think Mike's out of his mind because the Browns' schedule is favorable enough. The team is talented enough around Jacoby Brissett. Let's assume it's Jacoby Brissett, and let's assume it's 8 games. If it's less than 8 games, you obviously don't want him to be suspended for the year. And if it's more, then you'd rather him be suspended for the year than 12 games, because what's the point after 12 games? But 8 games, to me, I think the Browns could stick in it enough that I want him back, because I think I could go 6-3, 7-2 with Deshaun and still make the playoffs. Tyvis,
well,
what do you got?
The thing, it definitely depends on what the Browns' record is. If the Browns aren't doing well, if they're, I don't know.
But you'd have to know. But you'd have to make this. You'd have to say what you'd rather have before the season. So you would know.
Before the season, I would probably rather have him back because let's stop and think about the Browns here. Kevin Stefanski's been the coach for 2 seasons. Obviously, the first season, they go to the playoffs, they win. The last season, even with Baker hurt, they were in a lot of games with a hurt quarterback. So I think that Kevin Stefanski is a good offensive mind that will at least give this team a chance. I think they'll win more games than people think, even if Deshaun isn't there. Even with Jacoby as the quarterback, he is able to make the pass. I think in Kevin Stefanski's offense, one, we should lean more on the run game with the 2 running backs that we have with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. That's one. 2, Njoku is going to be the asset. I think you have to justify paying him top 5 money. So I think he'll be featured a lot, which means it won't be a lot of deep balls being thrown because outside of Anthony Schwartz, we don't really have somebody that's going to blow the top off of a defense.
Right.
Grant is good, but he's a gadgets guy. He's one of those guys that comes in and gets jet sweeps, gets reverses and stuff like that. He's not one of those ones that's going to go deep down the field and catch a ball. Amari Cooper is one of those guys who's a route runner. He's not a deep ball threat, but he's a great route runner. So I think Jacoby Brissett is going to be asked to make, at the deep ball, 15-yard routes. I think he's totally capable of doing that. He's done well with Indy when he was there. I think this Browns team can definitely go at least 7-3 in those 10 games.
Brad, I know you're thinking. I know the first thing you're thinking is, well, we could have Baker Mayfield, but we're taking that out of the equation. If the choice is Jacoby for 8 games, or whatever, somebody worse than that, if he gets hurt or something, what would you do? Would you rather it?
No, I'd rather for Deshaun Watson to come back, right, and just play it out that way. And to dispel my 2 friends here, I'm not the only one to think like I think. I was watching TV yesterday, and Marcellus Wiley is thinking just as I quoted on TV yesterday.
He stole it from you.
Right. No, I think that anybody that is being reasonable here know how this game works and this profession works, right? Understand that Baker Mayfield controls no cards. The Browns control all the cards.
Yep.
The Browns say jump, he says how high. He doesn't like it, and that's how it works.
And he doesn't get paid.
That's right, that's how it works. Yeah. But to your point, I need Watson, right? Because I don't think he's getting out any long suspension, because if it goes long, the Players Association is going to go upside the NFL's head with a bunch of things, right? And I don't think it works out in anybody's benefit. It behooves the entire group to put this thing to rest. And I don't care about what Brady got, because they didn't have an arbitrator doing the thing when Brady was cheating with the balls, right? This is a wholly different ball.
It's alleged. Allegedly, he deflated the ball.
Allegedly.
DeQuell was here. He was the one who, he had the ball, and he said he didn't.
He caught the interception.
What's that?
DeQuell caught the interception that was the ball that ended up getting investigated by the NFL.
He wasn't the one that reported it.
No, he didn't report it, but the ball that he caught was the one that got investigated.
Didn't he say to us that he didn't notice it? I thought that's what he said.
I thought he said that too.
Yeah. G, what do you got?
Let's go ahead and just get this, shoot this right on
down.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Now, look, we're not going to start this already now, because I done seen a little pattern here. This little double standard that we got between Baker and Deshaun Watson is starting to be fascinating to me. Now, Mike Polk Jr., y'all cats told me all last year that if Baker was ready to go, and he told, all you needed to know was Baker said he was fine, we gonna trot him out every single game. And that's what y'all did. Y'all trotted him out there every single game, and he threw 4 picks against the Packers, 2 against the Lions, terrible completion percentage against the Ravens. But now you telling me that you got Deshaun Watson, who's not injured, who's not hurt, who won't be suspended, but you trying to sit him for a year?
Well, no, we're going under the assumption that it's 8 games or a year. That those are the 2 options.
Well, here's the thing. He said in his comment, I would rather it be 1 year than 8, because anything past 8 games, and I go, no. If he's available and ready to go, we doing that. Stop the games. Second of all, he ain't here today, but we've heard people warm this up too. Now, you guys can't have it both ways. Baker Mayfield, all I heard for people standing on top of First Energy Stadium screaming out, Baker, you know, he got us our only win. He went to Pittsburgh and did the impossible, G. Bush. We got to treat him better. All of a sudden, you get Deshaun Watson as Super Bowl or bust. Now, hold on now. You just told me that one little playoff win was the greatest thing you've ever seen. You was crying, hugging family members. You went to church afterwards. You was such a joyous occasion. Now you telling me if Deshaun Watson just go to the Super Bowl and they lose in a close game, unacceptable, the trade ain't worth it. Come on, man. Y'all need to stop it. Y'all trying to warm it up. We're not going to let y'all do that. We're not letting you warm that up. And by the way, and y'all not going to vote for him for MVP even if he does play well. This is what we look up against. The long story short is, no, Mike, I went home. I had to ponder over it. I was eating some rigatonis, and I said, he's crazy. There's no way Deshaun Watson is going to sit if he's not ready.
Gee, two things. First of all, to back your point about Baker Mayfield's win, I don't mean to diminish it, but I'm going to. Could the Steelers have possibly been playing worse football going into that game?
5 turnovers.
They had fallen, but no. But yes, correct.
Yes.
But even leading up, remember, they started 11-0, and then they just crapped the bed the rest of the season.
Yeah, but Bull, you can only play who's in front of you, right?
Agreed.
We ain't about to do that.
But it wasn't like they beat a vintage Steeler team.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I can only play who's in front of me.
Like I said,
you're right. I can't help if they suck. Right? I can't.
They suck.
So
not a win don't mean
no, the win means something. I'm just diminishing it.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
He's just being petty.
I don't like that.
I'm being petty.
I don't like that.
He don't like that.
Number 2, it's a clean sweep across the board. Here's the thing. I've got a superstar in Myles Garrett. I've got a superstar in Nick Chubb. I've got a superstar in Joel Bitonio. I've got a superstar in Wyatt Teller. Maybe not. He's maybe not be a superstar, but a very good player. Sure. I can go on and on. I got a lot of great players on this team. Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the quarterback's the most important player. We know that. But if I got as many great players as I think I have, then I don't care who's the quarterback.
I'm should be good.
The players for 8 games should be able to at least get me 500.
Well, thank you.
I'm not asking them to go 7-1 with Jacoby Brissett. I'm just saying, can you go 4-4? They got enough talent.
Do we know the first 8 games?
We do.
Yes, we do.
And in fact, the first 4 are all
winnable.
Against very mediocre or below teams.
Yeah. I definitely want Deshaun
They have
back.
3 very tough games in the first 8. They play the Ravens once, the Bengals once, and the Chargers. Mm-hmm. The 4th toughest game is the Patriots, who are at. Or at least I think they're at.
I don't know.
And then the Steelers, and then they play 3 bad teams.
We got blowed out.
Give me 4-4. I'm not asking for 5-3. I mean, I'd like 5-3.
I would too.
But if he can give me 4-4, I can get Deshaun Watson for 9 games. I'm expecting Deshaun Watson to go 6-3.
You talking about a Chargers team that we should have won had we not had 2 defensive breakdowns.
And they're a good team. They're a good team. We know that.
Okay.
But all right. But listen. So
with the hurt Baker Mayfield.
Yes.
Well, I don't.
Deshaun Watson's a stud. When he comes back, I don't care that he's missed a year and a half.
I don't even hear you
He's
guys
gonna be ready
talking
to go.
about this, right? So you just named some great assets here, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. See, I'm a longtime Browns, right? Mm-hmm. So I remember the good days. I like one playoff win in Pittsburgh is not a good day, right?
Show
you see it right here, bro.
Expectations have gotten so low.
That's what it is.
Expectations have gotten so low.
I'm used to be in the game right before we go to the Super Bowl. That's who I am, right? Mm-hmm. I'm the dude that bet $500 to Georgia like the Browns were going to beat Denver and walk across there.
Wow.
Then Biner left the ball on the carpet at the 1, right? Mm-hmm. I'm that guy when Mike called back and said, bring me my money to practice tomorrow.
Get them together. Right. I will say this.
But hey, I wanted to say this. When is the coaching coming to play here?
Well,
Stefanski here.
He's on the hot seat.
Somebody has done the shopping. The groceries are in the cabinet.
He's on the hot seat this year, no doubt.
So if Watson
I wouldn't say he's on the hot seat.
So if Watson is not here, you have enough pieces that you should be able to manage the first 8 games. Out 8 games.
I just said that. I literally just went through the whole thing.
But I was saying this yesterday. Yeah. We in this town don't hold people accountable.
Who though?
Not in this town. Not in this town.
The fans are soft.
I do.
A lot of times.
Because I was last year, I wasn't putting it all on Baker. I was saying it was the play calling was not that great.
No, there were problems there, no doubt. Jacoby Brissett, we know what he is, right? He's a backup. He's a good quality backup quarterback. You need him for a few games, it's fine. He ain't going to put the team on his back and win games for you. He's not that kind of player. But you know what he doesn't do? Doesn't turn the ball over very much.
And that's all you need.
Protect the football. Yeah. You got studs. I got Nick Chubb. I got Kareem Hunt. I got Amari Cooper. I'm getting them the ball. Let them do the work because they're great.
This is devastating. Ask yourself this. If Mike Tomlin had this roster, what we looking at? If Harbaugh had this, if Bill Belichick had,
your guy McVay,
if Andy Reid had this,
yeah,
they would be they good. They would say, you know what? I got this over here. All I got to do as a coach is manufacture a couple plays. Let me dial up a couple first down plays, and I got enough to move with it. So if you going out here and your expectation level is we only going to be 4-4, you always got to say, what would another person do with that roster?
I definitely was the one last year that said, you know, it was Kevin Stefanski came out in the meeting and said we have to find a way to get Odell the ball. But all I know is that when he went to L.A.,
they found a way.
You never heard McVay say, I got to find a way to get Odell the ball. It just
happened. But no offseason, no OTAs, no playbook.
One last thing on this before we move on to the Seattle conversation is that I get what you're saying, and you know I'm with you with Jay saying it's a Super Bowl or bust. But let's spin it the other way. In a way, it's a compliment to Watson, right? Because with Baker, I can't say Super Bowl or bust because he's not that kind of quarterback.
No.
Deshaun Watson, I am going to be I'm not going to say it's a bad trade if he doesn't win a Super Bowl, but I am going to be disappointed if he doesn't win a Super Bowl because he is a Super Bowl caliber quarterback, and my expectation now is that the Browns at some point will win a Super Bowl with him.
I agree.
All right, let's get to this situation here. So we had the great Josina Anderson on our show last week, and she talked about a report that she had a few days before that in which Seattle was heavily interested in Baker Mayfield. Yesterday, Ian Rapoport was on Pat McAfee's show. By the way, Pat McAfee's show is really good. I usually hate on others in the media.
His joint's crazy.
He's
getting super bad.
Wild. So Rapoport goes on. Do we have the Rapoport clip? Yeah, right. That's what I thought. Okay.
We have the quotes. We can't play the whole clip, but we got the quotes.
Yeah, this is Rapoport on Pat McAfee's show yesterday. Here we go. Oh, this is okay. I have heard nothing to corroborate Baker to the Seahawks at all. They have never really been interested in Baker. Ian Rapoport. First of all, guys, I didn't like. I'm not a big. I'll admit, I'm not afraid to rip other media members, unlike most people, which is again probably not great for my career, but I'm doing it anyway. I'm not a fan of Ian Rapoport. I don't particularly care for him. When I've interviewed him once or twice in person.
Like every day.
Here's what I don't like. If I interview you and we're together, we're hanging out, we're doing a show, whatever. If you can't look me in the eye, like I'm not worth your time to look me in the eye, then go bleep yourself.
I will give you credit because you are consistent.
Yeah.
You hammer them all, right?
Yeah, he's a little weasel. I mean, he really is a little weasel. And I think his comments, if you saw the whole thing, I don't know if you guys saw the whole thing, I think he was very disrespectful to Josina Anderson with these comments. Let's hear it. Let's see it here.
We don't have the comments. We can't play it off Pat McAfee's show. But here's what Josina Anderson said in response.
Well, let me before we play Josina's or show Josina's response. When he was talking about it, he goes, "Well, this Seahawks stuff. This is an internet rumor. It's not true." All right. That's an insult to Josina Anderson. You don't say it's an internet rumor. It's not some Joe Schmo in his basement putting up stories. Josina Anderson is as credible, and I would say more credible in my opinion. Ian Rapoport may have the bigger name as an insider. I trust Josina Anderson more than I trust him because she is as connected with the players and has the respect of the players more than I believe any insider in the league. So this is really disrespectful.
Josina Anderson is plugged in. So
yes.
Any comment otherwise, you trying to minimize what
she
brings
Don't
to
say
the
internet
table.
rumors.
So
you know it's not internet rumors.
Stop playing with me, right?
Yeah, right.
Don't be mad. She beat you to the scoop. You don't have a scoop. So you got to make sure you make it up to make it look like you got a bag when you don't have a bag.
Right.
Exactly
you have nothing, right? You have nothing, right? And so I don't mind when we call out others for nonsense.
Yeah,
right?
this is nonsense. It's nonsense.
She's a legitimate source, or she wouldn't be making the money she's making, right? So she is legitimate. So she's played her dues in this business.
Yeah.
And
in a male-dominated business.
The thing about this whole thing to me is, I would side with Josina on this because Baker went on that podcast and said that it's looking like I'll be going to Seattle, right?
Right.
Why would he say that if he had no contact or nothing?
They was in Seattle with his girl.
Yeah,
right. He was hanging out.
Obviously, there has been some discussion about him coming there. So I don't know where that's why to me when I seen that, I was like, oh, this is blasphemy. Like, he literally just said, ain't no way I'm going to go on a podcast and say, and I done spent time in Seattle, and I'm going to say, oh, yeah, it's probably looking like I'm going to go to Seattle if I had no discussion with Seattle. My agent has to talk to Seattle or nothing.
And that doesn't mean it's going to happen, right? You know, Josina and Ian Rapoport and Adam Schefter, they report things they're hearing from around the league. They don't always
The best source nowadays is the players themselves.
That's right. That's right.
So if Baker said that, he knows something.
That's right. And obviously I think she's connected to the players better than any of the other insiders. I really do.
I think there's certain people that only talk to her. Like, like
no
I'm
doubt.
not talking to nobody else but you.
Yeah.
So sometimes I don't get it, man. Like, I always tell people, man, you're not the hook here. You're not the. I always say we guessed in the sport. We guess, right? These people's talents allow me to get up here and talk and earn a living, right? At the end of the day, that pass will be revoked at one point in time. I'll be out of the game. It'll be a new person in the game, and they'll have their opportunity
I'm never getting out. I'm never getting out. I'm going to die in the game.
Boy,
I'm just going to be sitting here. I'm going to drop dead in the middle of the show.
Love the game.
That's all. He never going nowhere.
We call the mayor paramedics. Come on, get Bull.
What the hell else am I going to do?
Get out of here.
Like, Bull,
I got nothing else to do. This is all I got.
My whole left side is down. What?
Let's show that tweet again, guys. This is Josina's response to Rapoport's comments when she talks about. Here we go. This is inaccurate. She's saying because Pro Football Talk reported what Rapoport said. Though I can see why it may be necessary to float this now. 1, in case the Seahawks don't get Baker. 2, because if number 1 happens, it helps to manage the path ahead with the current situation. 3, they're still trying to figure out how I know Hurd. So clearly, she, as usual, got it from not a typical source. Because I feel like Rapoport and Schefter and those guys, they always get it from the same sources.
Well, they also get mad that they don't get the scoop.
Right. Well, a lot of these guys, they make other people that work for their network give the reports to them so they get credit for it all. It's real shady business.
Yeah, well, how do you think they get paid? They get paid because they think that they're in the know and they get the juice, right?
Yeah.
When you don't get the juice, then you got to minimize someone else.
That's right.
Right. So this is the game, right? So here, the basic thing is and I don't listen to what Mayfield says because Mayfield gonna say anything because he just want to go.
He wants to get the hell out. And Seattle makes the most sense.
So they said if it was a path to Arizona, I'm going to Arizona. Right, that's where I'm going. It's like Durant. Durant's going everywhere.
Yeah, Durant.
Well, I say
it's good for business when your name is out there being floated.
And I say Seattle makes the most sense, but you actually have another team. That you think makes more sense.
To me, the best team, and I've been saying this for a long time, is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Because one, people are like, well, why? Well, to me, I think Seattle and Carolina is a job. If you want a job, go there for sure. You'll get the 1 year. If it doesn't pan out, now you might be a backup for the rest of your career.
Yeah.
But if you go to Tampa Bay, you're sitting behind Tom Brady. You don't have to rush coming in there. You can let your shoulder heal properly. And you know Bruce Arians likes you anyways. I think you could sit down there, learn from Tom Brady, show that
Arians retired, remember?
Yeah. But he's still in the front office.
That's true. You're right.
He's still there.
Yeah.
You can learn from Tom Brady for a year or two. Tom Brady has maybe a year or two left at best because he got $375 million sitting there.
You never know with him though.
$375 million. You know.
Fair.
I think he even came out and said that it's not the same to him. Like
plus weapons. You look at
you got weapons.
You got receivers.
You got Byron Leftwich, who's one of the best offensive coordinators,
and looks like G. Bush.
Yes,
and I've heard how they do things in Tampa Bay with the quarterback room. You know, all those quarterbacks come together and they come up with a game plan and they all work with Tom Brady and they find out what the good and the bad is in this game and they give it to Tom and that's why he goes out there and execute. So now you'll be in that group helping prepare Tom Brady, who's the greatest quarterback to ever play this game, get prepared. So now you know what to look for when it's your time. I think it's the best move that you can make.
Well, but to that point, which is I see where you're going with the logic.
I mean, it's a career.
The problem is he gonna take a cut.
He's
gonna take a short-term cut. He's gonna take
his ego's gonna stand in the way.
He's gonna take a cut. Yeah. His ego gonna stop him from taking that cut.
Yeah. No, he's getting the money this season no matter what. But
no. I'm talking about so let's say
he gonna sign. He gonna have to sign one little minimum.
I just
years.
said that.
Yeah, he got to.
He's
For
taking
sure,
a cut.
it ain't gonna be the best deal. But I'm saying.
But I'm asking you if his mentality. You have to be ready to accept that.
It's only for a year or two.
Well, some people can't accept
But
a year.
here's the thing.
I can't. Well, all right, we'll go to Carolina and go out there. Christian McCaffrey gonna get hurt, and Robbie Anderson don't care for you anyway. So you go out there.
McCaffrey's gonna get hurt.
You go out there and have a bad year, and now we'll see what contract you get from there.
Baker's 26?
26, yeah.
So 26, I guarantee you this, Tyvis.
I did it.
At 32, his thinking gonna be much different than it is at 26.
Yes.
Right? 26, here, let me tell you something. When they traded me, when I walked into after the Eastern Conference Finals, the Bulls, we lost to the Pistons, right? I come off a 20-some point game in the final, right? And so then I walk into the Bulls office the next day and tell them, you got to get me up out of here, right? Because it's not going to work for me. You're not doing what's best for me. I'm on a team that's about to make the ascension.
Right.
I'm too dumb to even know we're making the ascension. and then when they trade me 2 weeks later for the #1 pick to Seattle, I said, I'm going to Seattle. This thing is about to be great. I'm about to rock this thing.
This about to be a breeze.
I got off the plane. I got off the plane, Tyvis. As soon as the door opened up, and I started walking down the steps in SeaTac, and I said to myself, this don't seem right. Something wrong here. In the world of the old movies, you done messed up, son.
By the way,
you done messed up. But that's the thing, though. Yeah. I've actually been in a situation where I was kind of like Baker. When I was in Seattle, I was like, I had told my agent, like, I've been here, like, I need to go somewhere where I can play because special teams is good, but I want to actually play.
Yeah.
And I remember Sherm telling me, sitting down one day and was like, because I really started to love Seattle. Like, my mindset started to change because I'm learning so much. I'm watching myself become a better player from learning from Cam and Earl and Sherm every day.
Okay.
So it's like, I've almost got content. Like, all right, well, I could take the special teams role because I'm learning so much. And then Sherm sat me down and was like, he's like, you got to get up out of here. And I'm like, why? He was like, bro, you too good. Like, what you going to do for the rest of your career? Sit behind me for your whole career? And I was like, you got a point there. I do want to play. So the reason I bring that up is because Baker can sit behind Tom for 1 year. 1 year, and like I say, even if it doesn't show, he could go out there in the preseason the following year, tear it up, and somebody would trade for him.
You know,
you got something?
Yeah, this was the other part of what Josina tweeted yesterday. Steve, let's take it real quick. She said, regardless if he comes there, speaking about Seattle or not, still true. Meanwhile, stay tuned to the timeline tomorrow.
Right.
Tomorrow meaning today, so no one's more connected on this Baker situation than Josina, and Leroy's not here yet, so we got a minute or two on this. But what do you think she could be implying or predicting could be coming today?
It's a good point. I don't know, man. I mean, maybe she has heard some trade rumors. I do think that that Baker could be traded in these couple of weeks before training camp.
Yes.
You got
it's very possible.
Because for me, you got to look at it like this. I think they're not bringing him in. You bring Baker Mayfield into that situation, you're not looking at Baker trying to be some sort of backup to these guys. You want to give him the best opportunity to compete for the starting job.
Correct.
So now the playbook is 3 weeks away. I'm sure, now watch this. I'm sure we got a playbook in the mail a couple weeks ago from the Postal Service. Like, hey, learn this. We just want to see if you're good. Ask some questions. Because my thought process is, day one coming into it, they want to already have him up, ready to go, knowing the plays, knowing what
if he goes to Seattle.
Yes, if he goes to Seattle.
Sure, where he is.
I mean,
Tyvis, I just want to say, I think your point about Tampa Bay makes a ton of sense. I think it's a great take by you. We hadn't really discussed it at all. It makes a ton of sense. I think Baker is short-sighted and immature and will not think of it that way.
Yeah.
He's thinking probably, I'm the man. I should be starting.
I tell you what, I would rather.
But it'd be better for his career to go to Tampa Bay. I think you're right.
I would rather, if he had to choose between Carolina and Seattle, obviously Seattle's the better fit for him. And I think that his energy and that passion that he does have, because he's a fiery guy.
Yeah.
With them losing Russell Wilson, because I've been there. Russell Wilson is a big voice in that locker room.
Yeah.
He's very positive, and it's no matter if you're down 21-0. That man is, we coming back, we got it, y'all, let's go.
Yeah, right.
That's gone. Baker is the only guy. I don't see Drew Lock and I don't see Geno Smith. I don't think they have that. I played with Drew Lock. He's not like that.
Yeah.
And Geno Smith, I don't really know, but I would imagine that he's not as fiery as Russell Wilson or as positive as Russell Wilson was.
Yeah.
So you need a guy who can spark that passion and energy when things aren't going well. That's going to give you a chance, and I think that'll be good for the franchise.
And he's
so
got great
that's
receivers
why
there.
I can see him going to Seattle.
OG said something earlier, and this is in translation. I got to put it in subtitles for you, man. Sometimes you need to stay up under that umbrella. You might get rained on, or AKA stand next to this money.
Right.
You better stand next to the money. Tom Brady over here looking good. You know he's gonna have. You know he gonna get you looking nice. Stand right here.
Well, he give you that knowledge too. So Travis' point is right. I mean, but see, that's a mature person. Like, there's some value. You have to see value in it because you know Brady is going away.
That's right.
But what I'm saying right now, one of the biggest knocks on Baker is he's not mature and he's not an adult. What better way to show everybody that you've matured and you're an adult than to sit behind Tom Brady and learn how to be an adult and learn how to play the game and do the things the right way.
And a perfect example to back that up, Jameis Winston. Another guy, first overall pick, a lot of immaturity coming into the league. What does he do? Things don't go well in Tampa Bay, goes to New Orleans, sits behind Drew Brees, learns from another OG in the game, right? And what did he do? Last year he got hurt, but before that he was playing well.
Right? It's because he got the LASIK eye surgery.
And he got that bag.
He stopped turning the ball over last year before he got hurt. All right,
we got to do good bet, bad bet real quick, Bo.
Yeah,
then
let's
we'll
do
get
it.
Leroy on. Everyone had the exact same picks except Brad today. 4 of the 5 had the exact same picks. So we're going to fly through this.
Okay.
Let's take the standings. Jay went 0-3 yesterday. Bull
I am
2-1.
dominating.
G. Bush 1-2. Bull taking a lead. Let's get to the first game today. Bieber on the mound for the Guardians in Detroit. And everybody, including Jay, Steve.
Guardians got to win.
I'm about to say they overdue.
You got to salvage this game.
This is overdue. This is a shame that they lose.
People are overreacting to their slump. I'll get to that maybe later, but or maybe tomorrow. I don't know.
Bieber on the mound too. This is a shame.
Here we go.
We're gonna fly through these next one. Under 7.5 runs in tonight's game. You guys all said good, including Jay. And our one dissension of the day comes in the next one. Take it, G. Bush. Brad, you're the one that said good for over 1.5
my record's so bad, I'm playing long shots around here. It's Vegas, baby. You
got 2 home runs for the Guardians.
Got to go the other way.
All right, that's good.
I love it. And now it is time to bring on Leroy Hoard. And everyone who joins us is now brought to you by the Gridiron Guys Hotline, looking for a local roofer you can trust. Family owned since 2003, the Gridiron Guys have grown to become Northeast Ohio's top-rated roofers. We exemplify quality work practices and are a valued resource for homeowners and offer a 10-year workmanship warranty. Call 330-573-7967 today for a free estimate on roof inspections. Leroy, what's up, my man? How you doing today?
What's happening?
Leroy,
what's going on?
Speaking of gridiron guys, here's a gridiron guy, right? Leroy, could you still get on the gridiron right now? What do you think?
Let me put it this way. Hell no.
You telling me you don't got that? You don't got the burning desire? You be watching the games on Sunday and be like, man, I could get out there at least for one snap.
How about this? You know how I retired? I was in Minnesota. They offered me another contract. Same contract I had. No contract problems whatsoever. I just didn't show up.
Leroy was done. Leroy.
And I didn't determine I was done. My body told me we was done.
I understand what you talk about because you know the signal. When it's time to walk, it's time to walk. And I
haven't gotten that signal yet.
I was like, let me see. Do I stay around another year and collect some checks? Or do I want to walk when I'm 60? I think I want to walk when I'm 60. I'm out of here. Left that money on the table.
It wasn't even that. When it got to, critical time in the summer where you need to start getting moving, right?
Yeah.
And get your mind and your body right for camp.
Tank on E.
I was still limping.
Right. Yeah.
You should. You know what
I'm
you
like,
should.
Oh no.
No.
Leroy, you should do what all the vets do now. They don't sign until after camp is over.
I thought about that, and they told me, hey, you just want an extra couple of weeks?
Wow.
I said, nope. I know my body. We weren't going to be right till about January.
Did they offer you a private masseuse?
Oh, Lord.
No.
Leroy,
not one that I'm going to tell you. Private mean private.
Leroy, I do got to ask you a question. See, because I want to give some people some context. There's a lot of people that are in layman's terms, they always talk about, oh, I could do that. My grandmother could do that, or this ain't that bad. Can you educate the audience, our listeners, on what two-a-days was like back then when you played? Because nowadays it ain't two-a-days. It's
like half a day.
This is daycare. What was that like? What was your schedule like in terms of how two-a-days was going?
First of all, I'm gonna throw out my rookie year because I had guys on the team that smoked cigarettes.
Yeah, right.
So that don't count.
Yeah, so do I.
And that was old school with who do we have? Bud Grant.
Wow.
Right? That team. So we was 3-13 that year, and so I'm not gonna count that year. But Bill took over.
Oh man.
And first of all, what you don't realize is every time you have a new coach, you have an extra mini camp, and you start camp a week early.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you got an extra week. And we went two-a-days, I want to say, for 7 straight days. And it wasn't, I'm talking about suited and booted. Mouthpiece, helmet tight. Look, before every practice, I'm checking to make sure my helmet tight. Shoulder pads, underpads, elbow pads, gloves, everything. Dog works. I was game day for 2-a-days for 7 straight days. Till it got to the point where we were just so tired. He said, you guys take the evening off.
Just the evening, huh?
Just the evening.
The evening. Now, there's a rule now that if you have a game on Saturday, you get Sunday off, right? But Bill timed it up to 24 hours. So if the game started at like 6, we had to report at 6 o'clock on Sunday.
That's crazy.
I remember one preseason game we played on Saturday. And Friday, we had a walkthrough in the morning.
Okay.
And we was like, cool. And then we did shoulder pads and helmets in the evening. and he said, guys, it's a preseason game. You're going to hardly play it. Technically, it's like a day off. So,
I mean,
for the first 2 years of Bill Belichick, I look forward to the preseason games because it meant I got 3.5 quarters of break.
Man.
How did y'all do those seasons?
Well, and here's the kicker. The first year, everybody hated him. But what it did was it weeded out the hangers-on. Right? Yeah. The guys that just wanted to get that check. Mm-hmm. The older guys. It weeded them out. We had, within the first week of camp, we had like 6 guys just retire. Like, it was so exhausting. They say, I don't care about your money.
I'm done.
But then as it got on and we start realizing that, we are doing something and we're getting to a place and we earning his trust, then the end of the second year and the third year, he would actually come to us and ask us how we feel. And the guys that he trusted, he went by that. But I'm going to tell you, camp was no joke. I used to tell my friends, they say, oh man, you make all that money and you do that. I say, I tell you what, if you can make it through camp, I'll give you my game check. Right? Man. I'll give you a game check because that's not even counting. Bill Belichick had a conditioning test. You had to run 5 gassers, right? That's back and forth. I think my time was 30 seconds or 28 seconds or something like that with a minute rest. And if you didn't pass it, you had to do it every morning at 6 till you passed it.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to tell you like this. If you ain't pass it, it wasn't that big of a deal. He didn't know this. Because at 6 o'clock, it's dark as hell in that indoor facility, and I be hitting the hash mark and coming back. Hey, the strength and conditioning coach will say, I don't know how you get in such good shape overnight. Because I only got to run I'm running 40 yards back and forth, but he can't see me.
Oh my God!
I was in stealth mode. I was in that indoor facility like a cat burglar. Like you couldn't see nothing. All you could see was like just a black dot going back. You could tell where the other side of that field was. But he worked us hard during camp, and those rules didn't change until a few years ago.
Yeah, I'm about to say,
so when you made it through camp,
if
you made it through camp, and then keep in mind, another thing people don't realize is you played 4 preseason games.
Yeah.
And the crescendo was the last preseason game when you played into the 3rd and 4th quarter.
Yeah, right.
It wasn't like now, the last preseason game, nobody played.
Yeah.
So by the time the season started, I remember one. How about this? Y'all remember Buddy Ryan?
Yes.
Of course.
And he was famous for that raggedy 46 defense, 10 men in the box, everybody covered up, right? The week before the regular season, we practiced against them in Arizona.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. So we went 2-a-days for 2 days, then practice on our own, then played them in the last preseason game, and then the regular season started. We was all looking at each other like, man, what y'all feeling like? So I ain't feeling like nothing. I'm just numb. And the season about to start. So from that standpoint,
it's different.
you know, it was
different.
brutal. So
Thank
you
God.
guys, the guys that got it going on now,
They
huh?
outlawed that.
Leroy, how do you feel about how do you feel about Belichick now, looking back through all this? Like,
Well, look.
what are your feelings on him now?
Nobody ever thought, as we got as like the 3rd and 4th year, we liked where we were headed. And sometimes I tell people this all the time. If you've been losing and you feel uncomfortable with the change, that's good. Because what you've been doing ain't work.
Great point.
So you got to try something different. So you ever notice a lot of times a team will come in with a guy who's a player coach, and then they'll come in with a hard ass the next year. They're trying to change it up. They're trying to give you a different view of what you have to do and how you have to do it. And so from that standpoint, if we were all about winning, we realized that what we had done up until this point wasn't good enough, and we had to do something different. So, and when we got to that 3rd and 4th year, that 4th year we were going. We were moving. We were real good. We couldn't get past Pittsburgh, but we built something. And then the following year, we started off like 4-1 or 4-2, top of the division. Then, for reasons I can't explain, they decided to announce we was leaving in the middle of the season. Right? So that chaos went on. And then after the season, they fired the coach. It wasn't his fault. So when people say, you know, when they talk about Bill Belichick, look at where that thing was going. And every time I see it now, I said, you know, minus Tom Brady, right? We were building the same thing. Look, our defense was unbelievable. The coaching staff was phenomenal. I think 6 or 7 of the coaches on that staff ended up being either front office guys or head coaches.
Yep.
Yeah.
Think about this. You know who Scott Pioli and Eric Mangini were? They were the guys holding up the cards and getting yelled at by Belichick to go do stuff.
They
And they ended up being front office guys and respected guys in the NFL.
Was Saban on that team?
We had Nick Saban was the defensive coordinator, right? We had Al Groh, who ended up coaching. Wait, my offensive line coach was the head coach at Kirk Ferentz.
Yep.
Right?
I was
Keep
close.
going. So everybody got so caught up in Bill's personality, right? And I used to tell people all the time, if you want a comedian, go to a comedy club. If you want a good coach, rate him on his results and not how he interacts with everybody. Because he's like, Bill's not the most, how can I put it? He's awkward around people.
Right, yeah.
But not in his element, which is a football coach. And if you know Bill, you know that. And how he does things. And as the years have gone on and he start winning, we yuck it up. We laugh at him like Popovich. But here, he wasn't doing that kind of winning, so it was annoying. And people didn't like him for it. But if you look at what he did and where the team was headed before that, there was nothing that he wasn't doing to get us to where we needed to go.
Leroy,
so
what do you, we just got done talking about, you know, the top of the food chain, all those coaches that were there with the Browns before. What's your opinion on Kevin Stefanski? Is it Jekyll and Hyde? Is he really the coach of the year? You still think he's that guy? Or is he more towards he's running-the-mill, middle-road guy? What's your thoughts on Kevin Stefanski? Obviously, you've been seeing some of the best.
First of all, I'll tell you this. I don't care how great a coach you are. You can't win without players.
Groceries.
Now, the Browns have the players. So I'm not going to even act like they need to add some pieces or whatever. They got the players, both offensively and defensively. He doesn't handle the defensive side of the ball. We don't know if maybe he felt hamstrung by Baker Mayfield. That's the indication that everybody is given. But we don't know that yet because he hasn't had a different quarterback. But any job that you get that is a move up, I don't understand why we don't understand there's a learning curve there. Like, we take these offensive coordinators, make them head coaches, and then give them, you know, so much more responsibility. And then after a year or two say, he's a terrible coach. He learned it too. Now, I would expect coaches like that to be more understanding of young players. And the only thing that bothers me with new coaches is how dismissive they are of young players. And I have that situation down here with Brian Flores and Tua. Right? For some reason, him and Tua didn't click. And he wanted to play Fitzpatrick. And I've always been amazed that, wait a minute, you a first-time coach too. You got to learn some stuff. You want us to be patient with you, yet you're not patient with none of your players. How does that play in the locker room? So I've always been about, here's what I look at when I look at Stefanski. I don't look at necessarily what he does from game to game, but how he grows from game to game. Is he making the same mistakes? If he has a bad game or time management or timeouts, does he improve on that? If he's calling plays and he gets into a situation where, say it's 4-minute offense at the end of the game and it's 3rd and 3, do you still throw the ball? Or do you understand that you got one of the best defenses in the league? You just run it with Nick Chubb, who's one of the best in the league, and then let the clock run out and give you some more seconds off the clock. These are all things that, as a new head coach, you have to learn how to manage. The funny thing about sports is those situations don't present themselves right away.
So, Leroy, do you see the growth, or do you see the growth in him? Or give me a grade. Just give me a letter grade on Stefanski, because you've seen enough work of him.
I would say I'm not going to include last year, right? Simply because what you had at quarterback wasn't anything that you've had before then. So you play with a banged-up quarterback, and that hurt you a lot, and that limited what you could do. I would say a B, and here's why. And for people that don't understand what Cleveland is and what Cleveland has been and where Cleveland is now, okay? You beat Pittsburgh in the playoffs. If not for a fumble in the end zone, you would have beat Kansas City because they had to come in with a backup quarterback in Chad Henne. Okay, so you've had you all you want from your coach is to be there, right? Everybody makes these demands on winning, but if you're consistently there, you will get your opportunity. And so the only reason why I give him a B is because, he's only won one playoff game. That being said, I also understand it's been a minute. Let's not act like, oh no, we've always been there and we just need a coach to get us over the hump. No, this is a process for everybody, including him.
Okay.
Now here's what's gonna suck. We don't know what's going on with Deshaun Watson, right? If Deshaun Watson is out for the year and Stefanski has Jacoby Brissett and they don't have a good year, does that mean Kevin Stefanski's no good? You see what I'm saying?
I wouldn't put that on. I wouldn't put that on Kevin Stefanski.
But that's what. No. Here, you wouldn't. But guess what? I didn't put any of the losing that we had before the team moved on Bill Belichick, but the team still fired him.
Well, hold on, Leroy.
Technically, the Ravens fired him. Don't get worked up about
Leroy,
that.
to your point.
No, he was fired before. He was fired before we got to Baltimore.
Leroy, I'll say this to that, right? Because I've been around for a minute, right? I look at the groceries that are in the cabinets, right? They've got a lot of groceries here, right? Mm-hmm. So you should be able to win with the groceries you have here. I'll take your own alma mater. When they let go of Bill Frieder and put Fisher in at the head of Michigan basketball, what did he do with Ramil? What did he do with Ramil and them? Right. Same groceries.
You're right.
Right. So at some point, it's accountable to the person at the helm, right? Now, if he had nothing here, then you can say that. But he has legitimate game-making, play-making players here. Right.
Okay, so
I used to get frustrated when they be 4th and 1. He always went, "What are you doing? I got this defense on the other side. Just get rid of the ball."
No, I disagree with that.
I
go for a
so let me
I have to see what the odds are.
So let me ask you this. So let me ask you this though. Have they not, since Stefanski taken over minus last year, competed for a championship? Like they got a tough break. 1 year, okay, and the other year he was a young coach too. Mm-hmm. If you look at the growth of the team, each year they have gotten better, and in fact, a lot of people thought they would be contending for a Super Bowl last year. Unfortunately, they lost their starting quarterback.
You know,
this ain't the Rams. You don't have Kurt Warner sitting behind him.
Hold on, I got something for you. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
If the Browns don't have, if Deshaun Watson is suspended for a whole year and the Browns don't at least have a better record than they did last year, Stefanski's a problem. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because he just had a whole season with an injured quarterback and still was trying to make things happen. So he's got experience. If the quarterback isn't good, he has a whole year of film to look at of still to make it work. So he should know. If you're saying that a coach should be judged off of does he get better every year, then this year the quarterback play shouldn't have nothing to do with it. If he should still have a way to find a way to get wins.
You're right to a certain extent.
But if you let Jacoby turning the ball over, then that's another story.
Hey, there's only a handful of reasons why a quarterback is and that's one of them, right? But I will say this: you're right to a certain extent, and that is from the standpoint of should he be better with a healthy quarterback with what he has and the weapons he has around that quarterback? Yes. Okay. But it will get to a point if you don't have the quarterback play, when it will cost you. And if you're going to evaluate him, you have to evaluate him on that point, right? That if he, works everything to get to a certain place, and that is the ceiling with this quarterback, you have to acknowledge that. Look, maybe they get into the playoffs, right? Maybe, they compete or get through the first round. We don't know. But you are right in that if he has a healthy quarterback, the team should be better than it was with an injured quarterback.
Speaking of
so yes, you can, but at some point, that quarterback at the end of the year is going to have to make a couple of plays to win games, because you're not going to be able to hang your hat on just the running game, because guess what? When teams are only game planning for you and they see that all you have is Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, guess what it's going to look like? It's going to look like 22 guys within a 5-yard radius.
That's when that 46 defense going to come back.
Yo, yeah.
So let me ask you this, Leroy. I posed the thought, and you tell me what you think. All right, you know, Baker has these rumors going to the Seahawks. I think personally he should go to Tampa Bay and sit behind Tom Brady for a year, where he'll learn how to mature, be an adult, become a pro. You know, Tom Brady has 1, maybe 2 years at best, because he got $375 million waiting on him, so he ain't tripping no more. Don't you think that would be a better situation for him than just jumping into Seattle?
Here's the problem, though, and you know this better than anybody. What kills a coaching career? What kills a player career? Ego.
Exactly.
Right? And at some point, you have to sit back, evaluate your situation, and think, what is best for me in the long term? And maybe you got to eat it for a year or two.
Okay.
Maybe you got to eat it, but it happens with all of us.
Mm-hmm. Leroy, what if the first thing you've done, what you've been doing, isn't working? Don't you need to stop, switch it, and switch it up a little bit and go to something? Because they say doing the same thing and expecting a different result is insanity. So him sitting there for a year and learning a new game plan and learning how to be a different quarterback, when you think that would be the best thing for his career?
Sure, we do. We think that,
but he doesn't.
But we're not him.
Yeah,
it's so much easier for people to figure out what another person needs until that person acknowledges that and make the necessary steps. And it's going on deaf ears.
That's right.
So we like to think we know what's best for Baker. Baker probably has an idea of what he thinks is best for Baker. Now, he needs somebody, a confidant or agent, somebody close to him that he's listened to throughout his career.
He need me, Leroy.
To let him know.
He need me. Listen, he watches the show. Baker, if you're watching this show, listen to me. Go to Tampa Bay.
It's good advice.
Here's the problem, though. Everybody need a quarterback. There's a bunch of teams that need a quarterback. So if you a starting quarterback and have been a starting quarterback and you want to get back to where you think you belong, you're going to pick the starting job over a backup role.
Right. But this is the thing, Leroy.
It's been 4 months.
If it doesn't pan out, he will cost. He'll be a backup for the rest of his career.
Well, here's the thing, and I think
but that means he got an opportunity.
He can do that. He can do that. He can do the same thing in Tampa Bay. They're gonna give him the opportunity to be the starter.
But you talking logic? I mean, he ain't ready for logic yet. I'm not ready for logic.
Y'all ain't giving him enough credit.
No. What we're giving him, what Leroy is talking about, is we've been there. We have hit this role. We know exactly what to do now. But at 26, you're not gonna know that role. When I told Chicago I was ready to leave Tyvus, you know who tried to talk me out of it? Jordan tried to talk me out of it. I was like, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. I'm leaving.
Dang.
And he was right.
You know, Leroy, I think one of the things that I believe is when you look at quarterbacks, they're different. There's a reason why kickers and quarterbacks are in their own locker room. They over here. They make different money. They think about different things. I literally think that the second you decide in your mind that I'm a backup, your career is over. From a standpoint of
you're accepting, right? You're accepting it.
And you accept it, and if you're going to accept that, you can't go out. It's hard. Have you ever seen somebody accept being a backup and then get a starting role somewhere else?
Yeah.
Jameis, we just talked about it. Jameis.
Matt Flynn did.
But that wasn't that.
Playing a long, he's playing a long route. I got you.
Everybody made it sound like Jameis did that, being a good dude.
He had no choice,
and
right?
recognizing what his career choices were.
Leroy.
And he had choices, and he chose to be a back. No.
Leroy.
That was one of his only options.
Jimmy Garoppolo and Jacoby Brissett both sat behind Tom Brady, and both ended up becoming starters, and actually was all right.
Hey,
I'm just saying.
What? No. Jacoby Brissett, we will see.
He was decent in
The test is there. The test is there, right? Why are you talking about what Baker should do? You got a perfect example right here.
Yeah. Leroy, we got to wrap it up with this. I am very distressed by the fact that nobody names their kid Leroy anymore. What is happening here?
Well, hold on. Let me explain something to you. In New Orleans, there's more white guys named Leroy than black guys.
Young people,
it's a Southern thing.
Young people?
I don't know. And my parents weren't creative. I'm a junior.
Yeah, but I'm not from the South. I grew up in New York, and when I went to high school, I knew black Leroys, I knew white Leroys. There were all kinds of Leroys. Now nobody names their kid Leroy
When
anymore.
I think of Leroy, I think of the Last Dragon movie.
Bruce Leroy.
There you go. Yeah.
We could do a whole top 5 on outdated names.
We'll do a top 5 of the best Leroys.
Ezra, Rose,
Leroy Neiman,
the Jetsons.
All my grandmother's friends. There was Pauline, Max, Oscar.
Oscar's done too.
Oscar's done.
There was Uncle Leroy.
Earl,
my own uncle.
All right, Leroy, great stuff as always, man. We appreciate you taking the time. Thanks, buddy.
All righty.
All
Great,
right, man.
Leroy Hoard.
Yeah,
I feel like I got to reset it like it's radio every once in a while.
There's a lot of old names. Like
right?
Gertrude.
Oh, that one's out.
Martha.
I've never heard that name.
Don't you always, let's be honest, when you hear a girl named Gertrude, you assume she's ugly.
Oh, yeah.
Right? 100%. Oh, yeah. There ain't no good-looking woman named Gertrude. Have you ever met a good-looking Gertrude?
I've never heard of the name.
Hate mail.
What's the name?
Not 2022. Like, she got big pants. Like, the pants.
What's the name
The
again?
pockets is kind of
That's
moved
an old
on
school
the
name.
outside.
Never heard
You're
of
too
that.
young for that.
Elsie.
Brad knows some Gertrudes.
That's my grandma, Elsie.
Or anything when you got a hyphenated.
Ernestine and Ernest.
Oh, yeah, Ernestine.
names are out.
Martha May or Jenny May or.
Beth.
Yeah, that's not. You can't get that off.
All right, guys.
Oliver's old too.
Yeah, Oliver is another one. Okay, so Showtime Shawn Porter was supposed to be with us today. Can't make it. We're rescheduling for next week. But guys, we all had this little assignment yesterday, boxing matches. And the idea of this came because Adrian Peterson, I keep wanting to say, is fighting Frank Gore. He's fighting
Le'Veon Bell.
Le'Veon Bell. Why do I keep saying
That go right
Frank Gore just fought. Frank Gore just
That looks
fought.
like an action movie. It looks like the poster for an action movie. Adrian Peterson, I think, is going to kick the crap out of Le'Veon Bell. What say you guys?
Le'Veon Bell kind of big, bro. Le'Veon Bell is like.
You know what?
Adrian Peterson's the GOAT, though.
I mean, he's big, bro.
Le'Veon Bell is a poor man's Adrian Peterson.
I'm gonna go with.
We gotta check the weight.
You know that age plays a part in this to
true.
me, and Le'Veon, I would think, would be more in shape, even though Adrian Peterson just finished his career a year or two ago.
Yeah.
But I think Adrian got a little crazy side to him.
He's
so
crazy.
If he taps into that, I think
Adrian
we might
Peterson
see
is
Mike
30.
Tyson.
Adrian Peterson is 37.
Yeah.
Le'Veon got to be 32.
He's 200. They say 217.
And Le'Veon?
6'1", 217. Let's get to Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah.
Le'Veon Bell 240.
He
bro.
31.
Well, I'm agree with Tyvus. I think that Adrian Peterson, he just follow the things he's done. I was like, I had to follow it. And then I'm thinking Le'Veon Bell from Michigan. I like that. I'm going with Adrian Peterson.
Le'Veon Bell 6'1", 225.
All right.
How old is he?
31. Let's see.
He's
32.
younger than you think.
He's 32.
5 years younger.
Adrian Peterson bringing out a belt.
You ain't right.
Hey, Hey, by the way, you can't.
Right.
Hey, that's
You
outlaw.
always talk about how we do
That's outlaw. Now, back in the
neighborhood.
Back in the neighborhood, nowadays you can't do
that.
You can't spank your kids, but
You got to tell them to go pick that switch.
All right, guys. Let's get into this. We're gonna go. Let's start with Brad. We'll go.
Start with Brad. Yep, Brad, your Browns ideal fight. So real quick before we take it, we asked everyone on the set,
Browns,
and
Cavs,
myself,
Guardians,
to come up with a hypothetical boxing match, one involving a current Brown, one involving a Guardian, one involving a Cav, and then one just any athlete of all time.
Yeah.
So Brad, we'll start
you're
with
up
you.
first.
This is your
You're gonna put me up on the screen, right?
Yeah.
So here we go. I got Myles Garrett
That's a good one.
versus my man Lawrence Taylor. We're gonna go out there like some crazed dogs.
Yeah.
that
You know why I love that? Now we got to assume that it's Lawrence Taylor at his proper age, right?
At his peak.
Miles Garrett
You
is
asked
one
me
of
for some trouble right there with that one.
Miles Garrett may be the best looking athlete I've ever seen in my life, and I'm taking Lawrence Taylor any day.
Lawrence Taylor was a beast.
Hey, look, man.
People were scared of Lawrence. They were scared of him.
Scared of him.
They were scared of him.
Listen, you gotta understand. Lawrence Taylor, at his height, at his prime, playing weight, 6'3", 240. Miles Garrett is 6'5", 285 pounds.
G.
It's not just about size.
G.
It ain't.
G.
Lawrence Taylor.
I remember when Lawrence Taylor snapped that leg on Monday Night Football, thighs and leg.
Yeah.
Lawrence Taylor.
He was a beast.
Listen to me.
When I tell you this, they were scared of Lawrence Taylor.
I would take Miles Garrett against any other football player, but not Lawrence
y'all
Taylor.
losing y'all's mind now.
Listen.
Let's not get it twisted. 45 pounds. In that case,
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Floyd Mayweather would be fighting Mike Tyson.
Listen, G.
That ain't happening.
By the way, Mike Tyson in his prime,
If-
nobody's scarier.
If LT start losing that fight, he liable to pull a switchblade out.
All right, let's go to the next one. We got to move it along here a
This
little
is
bit. Here we
Brad
go.
on the Cavs. We got 19 more, so let's give some quick thoughts and keep moving. This is Rondo versus Alvin, excuse me,
old
Robert.
school.
This is old.
So you got to know Alvin Robinson. His nickname was Doggy. Big Doggy. So, just check Doggy's history. That's why I was strategic. Rondo versus Alvin Robinson. Don't do it anymore. Just Google it.
Do not Google that. Do not Google that at work.
Google Doggy. That's
Do not
Yeah.
Google doggy at
Yeah,
work.
might be something creepy come up there.
yeah.
All right, let's see Brad's Guardians one.
All right, let's take this 84, Steve.
So I got Jose Ramirez.
What do you want to do to Jose? You're going to get Jose killed.
Listen.
Ain't nobody.
Jose is the leader of this club.
Oh, my
I just
God.
put him back in the day with my man, Albert. When Albert hit the dude,
Bell's a psychopath.
Albert Bell hit the dude in the stands with the baseball.
I know, he's
He
nuts.
picked him off. He's like, this dude's talking mess. He found him in the crowd.
Hey.
I just thought it would be a good fight.
Brad's trying to get our best player killed here.
He trying to get him sent to the upper room, bro. Jose Ramirez is no longer with us. Nobody want no parts of that.
These fights is so one-sided so far.
All right, what's Brad's all sports one?
Let's take it. Brad has a personal connection to this, and we couldn't show the video.
Oh, I like
In
this.
the chat, we are dropping the video. Brad, you can tell what the video is.
Please drop it. So I was a Sonic. And so Charles Oakley was in my wedding, Xavier McDaniel, my teammate, my friend. We go to the Garden in New York City, and they get into a scrap. I just come out the game. Every bench cleared, because it fell into the first row of the Garden stands, right?
Yeah.
Cleared out the whole Garden. So when I get down there, they're trading haymakers, and I'm not talking about hitting each other in the face. You just go to the YouTube and you can see it. Boom. It'll be on there. All you heard was this. The trading of body shots, and they were in there like this. And referee's like, I'm not breaking it up. And I'm like, oh, stop. Stop. And then afterwards, at the end of the game, X tells me in the locker room, you go tell your boy Charles, I'm gonna kill him when I see him. And then Charles picks me up to go to dinner. Charles says, when you see your boy X, tell him to kill him when I see him. And then they end up playing for the Knicks together.
I was going to say, X-Man goes to the Knicks.
Yeah. Like,
basketball fights in those days were awesome. Now it's
Oh yeah, if you go
now
to
they're
the-
like awkwardly
if you
doing
go
this.
if you go to the video and just look this fight up, and I just had Mike and them looking it up and Anthony looking up, it's awesome.
they got
Those fights were
It's
so
in the
good.
YouTube chat. We just didn't want to. It's a big video. We don't want to break it by
goons for
showing
the
on the
Knicks.
show. So
Anthony Mason.
and Mason.
It's a good one.
Xavier
Well,
McDaniel.
they used to all protect Ewing.
This was
Ewing
good.
didn't
They were
fight.
good day.
Yeah.
They were good day.
Ewing never fought. Ewing never fought.
It was a good day. Now they just go around in a circle like do-si-do.
I mean, the Knicks and the Heat used to fight all the time. All right, let's go to Tyvus.
This is Tyvus's Browns fight, which is also, I believe, G. Bush's Browns fight.
Everybody want to see this.
That's a no-brainer.
Nice.
Everybody want to see that. Like they got to get the fair ones in. Like as a man, you I don't know what was said. It was speculated that some words were said, and that's where it caused Miles to react like that. But I mean, as a man, you want to have some frustration. You got to take it out.
The great Gazoo.
It would be the equivalent of Albert Bell versus Jose Ramirez, but in football.
Right, but in this case, we're happy about it
Yes.
because we
Oh,
don't.
very
because
much.
You haven't seen a rock roller fight at Chihuahua, have you?
All right.
All right, Tyvus's Cavs one was a late change this morning, but I love it. Colin Sexton versus Patrick Beverly.
You got to talk me into that one. That seems uninteresting.
You don't like that? Listen, Pat Bev got some dog in it, but the only person on the Cavs team that I think got some dog in him is Colin Sexton.
The Cavs were hard.
I think he's the only guy, because they all seem kind of like nice guys, but Colin is not. Like he got videos of him like showing the savage that he is. So that's the only guy that I could see fighting. And Patrick Beverly, all the trash talking he's been doing, there's been a bunch of people that want to fight him. So I think that would be a really good fight.
You know which one I should have put in there, but I forgot about it. I didn't think of it. Spud Webb against Muggsy Bogues. That could have been a good one.
I had Colin versus Ron Artest, but I think that would.
Ron Artest would kick.
It was too one-sided.
Yeah.
We're not gonna let you get that one off.
Let's get to the Guardians pick. This was a fun one. Josh Naylor versus Mike Trout.
Two passionate guys.
Oh, yeah, Josh Naylor's getting his ass kicked.
You think?
Oh, yeah.
Freak of nature athlete.
Josh Naylor
Husky, man.
Mike Trout looks like a football player. I mean, he looks like a linebacker.
I don't know. I think Josh might get one over on him, man. All he needs to do is connect one time. That's the thing about fighting. You get him one time, it'll change the whole dynamic of the fight.
I used to fight a lot when I was a kid because in Brooklyn, that's just what we did. And, I used to be a wrestler, and I would hold my own in most of my fights. One time I fought this guy, skinny, tiny guy, and he was just jabbing me in the face.
Yeah.
I couldn't get my hands on him. He beat the crap, but my face was a bloody pulp. Tommy Santora.
You remember that name?
Go to the next one.
This is the mob now.
Tyvus's all-time match.
He remember the name.
Deion Sanders versus Andre Rison.
Oh, yeah.
That was nice.
You like that?
I like that. I like that.
I mean, they got into it. They should
Young fella came with it today. Yes, he did. That was nice.
Deion's a lover, not a fighter.
What you mean? He was ready to fight Andre that day.
That's true.
They fought.
Bad moon rising.
Yeah. G, all right, G, you're up.
G's Browns pick.
Let's get to this.
No one else said anything remotely like this. Nick Chubb versus Kareem.
Wow. Browns on Browns crime right there.
Hey, this is why I come with nothing but the heat. That is a dope. Listen, because here's the thing. Nick Chubb quiet, but Kareem Hunt looked kind of crazy, bro. We didn't see his work. Now look.
Wow. We didn't see this work.
What is going on today?
That was in subtitles. I saw football.
I'm going back and forth on who to win this fight because Nick Chubb, I think, is stronger than Kareem Hunt a lot. But Kareem Hunt, he's been fighting. I don't know that Nick Chubb was getting into fights.
This is the best fight on the card.
It's a good fight.
That's slick though. We didn't see his work.
Hey, look, that's it. Hey, you gotta. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. I felt like this was one of the best ones.
Oh my goodness!
I think that is a good matchup. I don't know who wins that one.
Kareem Hunt's got that dog in him, though.
Here, mark that down as one of the classic lines that
we didn't see
his work.
You two is out of pocket today.
Let's see his calves.
This is a fun one too. Me and G Bush on the same wavelength here.
This is it.
Evan Mobley versus Isaiah Mobley.
Bro, you know they done fought. You know how many times they done fought in their life?
Look, Evan probably won all of them.
Well, Evan kind of long. His brother kind of stockier.
Evan probably is something. Listen, me and my brother used to fight all the time. I'm yet to beat him, but he's smart. He won't try me today.
So most times brothers don't ever like. I don't argue. See, my brothers is all like my brother's offensive lineman, so he's like 3'8", he like 350 when he was 340 when he was playing. So my thing was, you can't hit me in my face, bro. I'm cute. I can't have my face. Don't touch my face, bro. Like we can argue and tussle around and stuff, but don't be hitting nobody all in my face and my teeth and stuff. Like we don't do that.
Brad, you have a brother?
Yeah, I got a brother. He'll kill me. My brother down in Columbus with Tyler. He'll kill me.
Yeah.
He ain't got nothing to lose.
6'4". 250. He gonna get you.
Yeah.
He gonna get you. I gotta step and move. I got to.
Yeah, bro.
All right, 2 more for G. Bush. This is his Guardians pick. Why do you guys want to kill Jose Ramirez? What do y'all get against Jose?
Another guy wants to getting Jose Ramirez beat down.
I don't know why y'all want Jose.
Hey,
Top dog.
Hey, he's the only good person we got. We can't name nobody else on the team.
I mean,
That's Naylor.
I picked a guy, a big guy, and
So
so
you want
Austin, who you pick? Austin.
Franmil Reyes.
That's a great one, actually.
Me and G, we trying to sell tickets here. Now we
Not
can't get nobody.
get our best players killed.
Oscar
We
McConnell.
got the name though.
We got to have the name
back.
back.
And then G. Bush's wild card is what we mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
It's Mason Rudolph, Myles Garrett. We all want to see Myles
All right,
Garrett.
Mike, let's do yours.
Best. You want to go to? We'll do yours first, Bull, because it's in order. Yours is next in
Okay,
order.
fair
so
enough.
let's see your Browns pick.
Here's my Browns pick.
Take it.
Nick Chubb against Micah Parsons.
That's all right. That's something interesting.
Well, that's a good fight right there.
They about evenly.
That's blitz pickup. I got Nick Chubb winning that blitz pickup.
Nick Chubb, the best running back in football, or my favorite running back. I don't know if he's the best, one of the best. And Micah Parsons, one of the best young linebackers, maybe the best young linebacker in the league, right? Yeah. Who's better?
Yeah.
Nobody.
Nobody right
What
now.
do you consider young?
Yeah.
Second year in the league.
Okay, then no.
Yeah, no, he's that
say
deal.
Rookie contract.
Fred
anything in that
Warner,
Yes, yeah.
Darius
He had a
Leonard.
down year, didn't he, for San Fran?
Yeah.
He's really good, though, too. I actually was thinking about him, too. I was like, who's the best linebacker matchup? All right, let's go to the Cavs. Darius Garland, Kyrie Irving.
That ain't no fight.
Now, here's the
no
thing.
fight.
Like, I want to see Kyrie get his ass kicked.
That right there is they'll talk it out.
Yeah.
You know how back in the day you get the people that don't really want to fight, so they
Yeah.
talk it out.
Yeah.
That's exactly what that is.
Join the club with that line. They gonna talk it out. You in with
That's
us
fair.
now.
These
You in with
dudes,
us.
I couldn't come up with a good basketball one.
they'll end up exchanging conspiracy
Numbers.
theory videos on YouTube. Hey, did you tell? Let me tell you about the moon landing. Totally, like that.
It could be
never happened.
Could be Kyrie against Bill Nye, the science guy, maybe. Right.
Have you guys all seen that thing where they do this versus that, two groups of people? So
Yeah.
they'll have like some people who think the scientists versus people who think they faked the moon landing, and they all sit it out and have an intervention and stuff.
Yeah.
It's kind of wild.
All right, here's Bull's Guardians pick. 2 massive human beings.
Franmil and Aaron Judge. Now that's
Judge
a
got
head
the
of a
reach.
round.
I'm going with Fred Mill on this one because listen, if he hit that ball, it's gone. If
Yeah.
he hit you in your face, you probably done.
Well, Aaron Judge too, though. He's a large human being.
I mean, Aaron Judge is
Aaron Judge could play D-line, couldn't he?
Aaron
is pretty
Judge
big.
is about as long as Saget from Street Fighter.
Well,
like he kind of long, bro.
This is the thing. Fred Mill is in Cleveland. Listen, one thing about Cleveland, he'd have been around a long time. He know how to throw them things. He'd have learned a thing or two.
All right.
And Bull's last one, his alternate pick anyone fight. Great matchup here.
Bo
versus
Jackson, LeBron James, 2 of the greatest athletes of all time.
I'm taking
LeBron James getting smoked.
I'm taking Bo.
Ooh, you're going with the new school guy.
I'm taking Bo.
Bo Jackson, come on, bro.
You're the old school
like
guy.
Bo Jackson is fast enough he can punch you and then hide behind a parked car. You never touch him.
What do you think of that one, Bray? Who you getting taking?
That Bo was strong as an
Man, come on, bro.
I like
Herschel Walker.
And I would just tell you this: I ain't seen LeBron square up on nobody.
That's what I'm saying.
Nah, he didn't like the fight.
Nah.
Right,
He gonna
so-
talk that out.
You got my bonus one?
Yeah, where is it in here?
Bull always.
Wait, we'll end with yours real quick. We'll end with yours. We'll go through mine.
And
we'll
then
do
do
your
my bonus one?
and then we'll get the internet picks.
All
that
right,
we asked
Mikey,
the
let's see
internet.
yours.
We'll do these quick. Yeah, that's mine. Steve, take it. My Browns fight. How about Baker Mayfield versus Watson? Baker fighting for his starting job back.
I got D-Watt.
I think we all do, but I think it'd be fun to see Baker with the chip on his shoulder go out and try to fight for his job back.
Baker.
Even though I think Baker I think he's a scrappy type of guy. I mean, he's had to
you know
fight.
better than that.
He had to fight for a lot
He's
of
a
his
fake
life.
tough guy.
Listen, that's one of
fake
the.
tough guy.
He's one of those guys
He's a fake tough guy.
I'm sure he didn't got clowned on a lot in his life, and he's picked a fight before. D. Watt's probably been.
Yeah,
I think it'll be closer
You
than
think
we
Baker's
think.
a fake tough guy?
I mean, any quarterback ain't fight nobody, bro. I ain't fighting.
Well, they're both quarterbacks.
Yeah, they
What's
really
your next
not.
one, Mikey?
All right, we'll keep it moving. Next one, the Cavs fight. They just signed Robin Lopez. I was on the same wavelength as G. Bush.
Brother fight. There you
Two
go.
7-foot twins fighting.
I got Robin. He look a little more. He got a little scrappier.
Who came out first? Because they twins.
Brooks like half a minute older.
I'm going
like
with
that,
Brooks.
All right, my Guardians fight. This is the best one.
Prefer to see the Gasol
Hedges versus Luke Manley.
Oh my
First one
God,
to get a
that's
hit wins. First one to get one hit wins.
Yes!
That dude,
my money is on Hedges.
a buck 64.
One hit wins, Bull. One hit wins.
Yes!
Can we push them both in the lake when it's over? Jeez.
Jimmy,
Two guys just suck.
And then my anytime matchup, I want present-day LeBron versus present-day Jordan. Present-day Jordan.
Go with
because
Jordan.
you know, even in present day,
LeBron
this is for bragging rights.
much bigger, much stronger, but
Jordan fight you.
but Jordan fight.
He'll fight you. Yeah, he will fight you.
I got Jordan.
Yeah, I think Jordan has a much more propensity to smack at somebody.
Listen, you done seen his work.
Right?
You know what, by the way, bad job out of all of us, but especially Brad.
I can't let it go. This man's crazy, man.
What did you just say?
Hey, dog, listen, if you know, you know. I put it in subtitles, and they was just like, they just caught it. I don't know how they caught it, bro, but yeah.
How did we leave out at the bad boy Pistons? Nobody put a bad boy Piston in there.
Oh yeah. We left Ricky on the sideline.
Rick Mahorn,
Oh, my goodness.
Bill Lambier, Dennis Rodman.
But Bill was only Bill was tough, but he was only empowered by Ricky was the one.
What calves is you putting up against Bill?
Oh, if I had to put somebody up against Bill, I'm gonna go back in the day. You remember this dude?
No, it had to be current day calves. That's why I'm saying.
I don't think we could.
None of the current cast would hold a candle to that.
That's what I'm saying.
But here's Bull's extra. Bull asked
my
us
bonus
because
one.
he can't do just what we ask. He needs to go above and
Trevor
beyond.
Bauer is the Grizzly Bear. Because I'd like to see the Grizzly Bear eat Trevor Bauer. I mean, totally honest.
Now, you at least got to put I thought you was going to do a gorilla versus grizzly bear, right?
No. No, I want Trevor Bauer to be eaten by a grizzly.
The fight would be 2 seconds.
And we also asked the internet to submit
What's
some.
the
And we're going to
internet
get Shawn Porter on next week. He's going to go over and pick some winners for us with these fights. We'll pick the
Some
best
of those
ones for Shawn.
matchups are good.
But as always, when we ask the internet, it's brought to you by PCC Airfoils. Looking for a job with career advancement and great benefits? PCC Airfoils is a leading manufacturer in Northeast Ohio. All locations of PCC Airfoils in Eastlake, Mentor, Wickliffe, and Minerva are hiring for all positions starting at $18 and up. Plus, get a full benefit package, paid time off, and a signing bonus. Apply online at precast.com/careers. To learn more, Steve, let's run through these pretty quick.
PCC.
This comes from Eddie Everhart. How about Fran Mill versus Wyatt Teller? A little cross-Cleveland matchup.
I'm going to go with the football player.
Ramiro Way is about to die. Twice.
Next, we had another brother matchup, TJ versus JJ Watt.
Easy money. JJ Watt smoke show over TJ Watt.
TJ's in better shape now, though.
I mean, he's 290, though. 240 for 290 is different.
And this is a big miss on us, Bo. I'm surprised you didn't go here. But how about the fantasy football slap on the baseball diamond, Tommy Pham versus Jack Peterson?
That was
You
hilarious.
spelled Peterson wrong, this person.
Well,
It's
we
with
knew
a
what he
D.
meant.
But, yeah,
Give me Young Jock.
that's a good one.
I
don't know how we forgot about
He told him the next time I
Over
see
fantasy
you, the next
football.
time I see you, I'm a. And
By
the
the
next
way-
time I see them,
By the way, I know we're getting into NIL here for a minute, but I got to rant about the Guardians for just 1 minute. So
Do your thing.
Stay with me here. Listen to me. We're not really about the Guardians. They're playing lousy baseball, okay? I know they lost 3 in a row. The Tigers suck, and they lost to them, and people are frustrated. But the fans, the way they – and it's tricky because I want – in a way, it's good that fans are passionate to some degree, or at least some percentage of the fan base is passionate about the Guardians. That's great because we don't have enough passion about that team. But you can't react to a baseball team like you do a football team, where if they lose to a bad team, it's the end of the freaking world. It's not a 17-game season. It's 162. The Guardians are the youngest team in baseball. They're younger than every team in AAA. Think about that for a minute. Every team's highest minor league team has an older average age than the Guardians. I've been saying for a month the team is going to have high highs and low lows. And that's what they've done all year. They play well for 2 weeks. They play like crap for 2 weeks. We've seen it the entire season. They've lost, I think, 11 of 14 here. Before that, they won 17 of 21. Before, I think they lost 8 of 10. Before that, they won 7 in a row. I don't remember the exact numbers, but it's basically like that for the entire season. So when it's going badly like it is now, and I know it's frustrating because you want them to stay in the mix and have a chance, what did you expect? It's not a great roster. They're overachieving to some degree when they play well. It's young. It's growing. Brad talked about it. Leroy talked about it before. You got young players take time. There's going to be ups and downs with young players. People want to fire Francona. Their team sucks now. Well, they just won 17 of 21 before 2 weeks, and they'll bounce back again, and probably they'll win tonight and get on a little roll before the All-Star break. Don't get carried away when they're playing bad. It's not the end of the world.
No, it's the body of work. I mean,
yes,
it's the body of work. It's a long season.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, nobody expects us to be here knowing the roster in the beginning. And so you just have to play it all the way out. I mean, I think they're still doing well. We're just in a bad streak right now.
Yeah, they're in the mix. They're not a great team, but they're in the mix at the halfway point. I think we all would have signed for that before the season.
I'll tell you what, this is just my theory. To me, I just don't believe in this market that you can have 3 teams that are good and all 3 get supported. I just don't think it's enough. I don't think it's enough people. I don't think it's enough interest. And so even with the Guardians, right, they can be in second place. They were just in first place a little bit ago. But when you get the Browns and they got all these
the other teams are not spending. The other team is not playing right now. So
See,
I disagree with that because if the Browns are rolling, the Browns faithful are going to be there.
Yep.
When the Cavs are rolling, the 20,000 are going to be with the Cavs. And when the Indians were rolling, when Kenny Lofton were here, they were with the Indians, right?
But
they haven't been here all together.
Not that whole time.
But I'm saying the Browns specific fan is a Browns fan.
Yep.
They're not going anywhere. Yep. The NBA fan is an NBA fan, not going anywhere, especially if we're winning, right? Especially if your personnel here, let's say LeBron was here, right? Mm-hmm. They're not going anywhere. And when the Indians faithful are here, when you go down there, it is a crowd that's specific to the Indians, and the rest just come on because they're winning.
And the TV ratings are always good for the Guardians. Always. They've always been good. People are watching. There is interest. I think in general it's an older audience that's more interested in baseball.
Yes.
And that's why, a show like ours, when we have a younger audience, it's not going to be as many people, but there is the interest there, no doubt.
What I'm explaining is the knee-jerk reaction to wins and losses.
Yeah, sure. Yes.
So when you got fair weather people,
fair weather people.
They're like, I want instant gratification.
Right, and I get it. When they lose to the Tigers, it's frustrating. The Tigers are a really bad team. They've lost 3 games in a row to pitchers that had just been called up within 24 hours to the majors, and none of them are even like big prospects. The first guy on the doubleheader is a decent prospect. The other 2 guys are not. So, anyway, we'll leave it there. Let's get to NIL, guys, because obviously this continues to be a big story. Jaden Rashada. Am I saying his name wrong?
Yeah, no, that's correct. Jaden Rashada. I'll fill you guys in real quick.
Yeah.
He's a 4-star quarterback out of California. Had offers from 3 dozen of the best programs in the country, and recently. He's a 4-star quarterback, by the way, number 7 in the country. Just signed a $9.5 million NIL deal with the Miami Booster. It's the largest NIL deal yet. And it's reported that he turned down $11 million from Florida. So the question I had for you guys is, when a kid walks on campus before his first practice, 5-star, 4-star, whatever, with $9.5 million in his pocket already, does that create unrealistic expectations? Because it's one thing to get mad at a kid if he doesn't pan out, but it's another thing when he's getting paid $10 million from the get-go.
I think, Tyvis, since you played most recently, I think you're the best one to start with this. Yeah.
So my thoughts on this is, all of these stories that's coming out now, all these players are guinea pigs. It's very similar to how the old CBA was before they changed it in whatever year that was, 2012 or 2011, whatever.
In the NFL.
In the NFL.
Yeah.
They was paying all these players all this money before they even stepped foot in the NFL.
Your guy Sam Bradford.
Sam Bradford, Jamarcus Russell. All these guys was getting this money, and it didn't pan out. And you know what happened? They said, forget that. We're not doing that no more. We putting a cap on it. That's what's going on with this NIL. It's new, so don't nobody. It's getting outrageous right now. It's the hot thing to do. If you want to have a big name, if your company wants to make a splash, offer this kid a bunch of money just so you can get your name in the news cycle. But if the player doesn't perform and pan out, it's not going to happen again. Nobody's going to keep giving out $9.5 million.
You think there's too much pressure on him? If you were him, would you feel pressure?
Yeah, because and the fact that if you want this to continue to go on, you need to perform well, because if you don't, you messing it up for the next person, and that's the way I look at it.
And Brad, before you go, I want to show you guys one more thing, just to put this into context. Look at that $9.5 million NIL deal, how it compares to guys in the NFL. Joe Burrow made a Super Bowl last year.
So you're right at my.
That's not a fair comparison.
Yes, it is.
No.
No, it's not, because those guys have endorsement deals too.
It has some merit, because to this point I say this, right, and I just said it is a product. This is a result of a bad strategy that has went wayward a long time ago. When you are in sports here, there's a progression. There's a natural progression, right? And you're building to get better every year. That's traditionally how it works. In that process, that player, there's some hunger there. You have to be hungry, right? You have to pay some dues here. And you pay those dues in order to get to the next level you want to, right? I would just say this. Now, you throw $10 million, $9 million on some young person, right? You're going to stunt that growth, because I ain't doing that. I'm good. I'm great. I got $9 million over here. Run through the wall? Why? I'm not doing that. You're circumventing the process here, right? Now, I'm going to watch how this plays out. Now, and I'm not naive enough to say that there are some people out here that, because of their name and likeness, they deserve to get a better chance of a better opportunity. But I'm going to tell you, you think that you're going to throw this money around here to young people who have no idea, and you're not going to stunt their growth because there has to be a hunger here, right?
But the process, Brad, the process has led to coaches and executives getting rich off the back of these players.
Yeah, no, that's a whole nother argument, right? We're talking about the development of the next future class who run these professional leagues, because that's where these players are trying to be. They're trying to be in the pros, right? You have to be developed. Ohio State has a saying down in Columbus. I love Ohio State football. It was developed here. That's where it was developed, here in Baker Commons, in the Union, where we have you could get $2 for a biscuit, right? Don't get me started on Ohio State. You could get $2 for a biscuit, right?
Yeah.
So there's some hunger there. Thank God for Jackie Brown paying for them pizzas for me, right? So I can eat. So I can eat, right? And so when you do that, there's an appreciation here. When I think you get this money up front, you're circumventing the issue. Ask how many professional players who strive to get to the pros, and once they got the first bag, did like this. I'm good. I'm good. Hey, I was guilty of it for a minute, because I said, I'm good.
Gee, I know you support players being able to make whatever they can.
Well, listen, man. I'm Adam Smith. I'm laissez-faire. Like, I'm a free capitalist society right now, and that's what y'all told me when I was coming up. You be who all you can be. Now, when you talk about people coming out of, because I always give people a show, right? If you're looking at sports and he making $9 million, well, I'm going to just tell you this. That's pennies compared to people making money on TikTok. He make $9 million. The top, a 14-year-old made $45 million playing Fortnite. Now, here's the thing about society. You can get money and you can get it any way, shape, or form. It's all about what you do and how you maximize your utility. At the end of the day, you need to use football, and don't let football use you. Right. Because for every one of them dudes that you got two guys that are playing in the league, for every two of those, you got a guy like me with the 13.
You got a lot more.
14 surgeries, nothing, and you got to find it on the outside. So I can't tell no young dude get that $10 million, because that $10 million,
that's why
everybody can eat off the $10 million. Yeah. It's just the fact that you need some infrastructure. I ain't got to worry about my son messing around and getting $9 million. We got a whole playbook for him. Yeah. Nah, we not doing that. We now move with this. This is how this goes. Now, the thing is, it's like this, and it's the Wild Wild West. These first kids are going to get destroyed. They're going to get destroyed. This first unit of people with NIL, because these people is getting access to money that they never had ever without the infrastructure around it.
Because I'm not against the people getting the money.
I'm not against it either.
I'm not against the money. I'm against that you're derailing the product. There's two different things.
Yes.
Right? Because there's nobody here for the guardrails for this money.
You need guardrails.
So Tyvus gets his money. I can guarantee you what Tyvus is going to do. Maybe I can, but I can't. Tyvus going to the car store. That's where he going.
Off top.
Off the top. Off the rip.
Off rip.
That's not true.
Then he go to the shoe store.
Now, you might get something with that one now.
You see what I'm saying? But that's the thing. And you talk about it so much you always talk about the wraparound services. One of the things that we talk about in school is, how can you be in college but your everyday economics, they not teaching you.
Because they don't care about the wraparound service.
They don't care about do you know how to balance checkbook. They don't. What's
They ain't teaching
your
that.
credit score? What is that?
I
We're
was
learning.
taught that.
Gee, we're learning the wrong. Our whole education system is a disaster.
Yes.
We're learning the wrong things.
Yes.
Right. We're not learning how to take care of money. We're not learning how to invest in your future. In all schools, we got my wife for a number of years worked at Tri-C.
Yeah.
Right. She was a counselor for students and helping them pick classes.
Yeah.
Many of the kids, obviously Tri-C has some older students that are coming back, but many of the kids that are going to Tri-C
Have no idea.
Have no clue. Their parents, in a lot of cases, never went to college. They're a first-time college student.
Right.
They may have to work 3 jobs to just go to college. And there's so many young kids. Our education system is broken, especially in the inner cities where there's too many kids per class. We have these standardized tests, which are horrible. I feel like we send kids to school to learn how to pass tests and not how to educate themselves. And it's a major problem.
I agree with
but
that.
in the end, and that's the flaw, right? If I hand this kid $11 million, there's a good chance he's gonna do it.
If they handed me the $9 million and then they said there was some infrastructure in place saying, okay, we're going to take this $9 million and we're going to align you with somebody and this money's going to sit, you can have access to $1 million.
It's not even.
The $8 million
The rest sits in the trust.
sit over here because I have to teach you about this money here because you don't know anything about it, right? And then when people tell you this type is that, oh, there's no way you can blow through that money.
That's a lie. That is a lie. But the thing is I need to know how these NIL deals are structured. Are they incentivized, or is it like no matter what you get this now? Because if it's incentivized, then that would answer your question about the hunger thing. Like I don't think you would be hungry. Like I got $9.5 million. I got to get on the field. I got to make these plays now. Like because if I want the rest of that money, I got to make plays. So that would actually help
too, though. Like most guys, you guys reach the pinnacle of your sports careers, right? You made it to the highest level. And it's an amazing accomplishment because it's so freaking hard. Because all the kids out there playing basketball in high school, playing high school football, and then there's even less that play in college, and even less that play at the highest level of college like you do, and then almost none that make it to the NFL. Let alone have a long, successful career. There's so many G. Bushes out there who played high school ball or played college ball, and that was it for them in their sport. And this kid, I don't even know, what's his name again? Jaden Rashada. He's a great athlete. He's a 5-star recruit. He may not be anything. He may go to college and do nothing. And now he and his family, hopefully, he and his family and his kids, or probably hopefully his future kids, are set for life. Hopefully. He may blow it. And you hope there's good people around or there's an infrastructure that can help him. But I personally don't want to stop anybody from making money that they probably couldn't make.
I don't think it's ruining the sport at all.
Yeah.
I'm for everybody. If they want to pay you, please take that money because I don't want you to be in the situation I was in where you just flat out broke.
Right.
So if they give you the money, take it. My only concern for it is that you better do well because now the people that's coming up behind you.
Yeah.
If you don't do well, they're not going to offer.
Away.
Yeah, they're not going to give it to nobody else.
It's extreme right now.
Exactly.
It'll probably settle in at a better spot. All right, we got more college football to get to, but first, speaking of which, with college football, top 5.
It
Mikey,
is, and as always, our top 5, which today is 5 former college football players who have absolutely cashed in on NIL deals, is brought to you by Roundstone Insurance. Roundstone offers a better alternative for affordable quality health care for more than a decade. Roundstone Insurance has been saving small and mid-sized businesses money up to 20%. Contact us today to learn how you can get great health care benefits that your employees will love and save money too. And let's start with number 5.
I expect G. Bush and Tyvus to both be on this list.
They were 6 and 7 without a doubt. And Brad was 8 in no particular order.
I wasn't there.
All right, let's take number 5 though real quick. Vince Young. The Heisman Trophy winner, the pinnacle of college football in the mid-2000s. He would have made more money than he knew what to do.
I was watching him play in some YouTube stuff. He was running all over the place. I forgot.
You guys think he was going to be good in the pros? Because I did.
He played well his first year.
I didn't like the way he slung the ball.
Like sidearm.
Yeah, but the way he was playing in Texas, he was balling out. He was balling out.
I was watching the 30
He came
for
to
30.
the horseshoe and got loose.
Why you got to do that?
Well, actually, Tyvus, that brings us into a topic coming up in a second.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute.
We'll get to that in a second.
Has Texas been? Texas has basically been irrelevant.
Texas has not been
since
good
then.
since.
He's gonna hate on us with a Buckeye shirt. Why you gonna do that?
I know what territory I'm in.
Yeah, all right. Number 4.
All right, number 4. We mentioned him earlier, but Bo Jackson back at Auburn. His personality and combination of charisma and effectiveness on the field. This dude, print money.
Even the Japanese people didn't even watch football knew Bo Jackson was the stuff.
Bo Jackson.
He was just faster than everybody on tech mode. No name, just no speed. They just knew that guy right there is it.
As great a football player as he was, the first thing I think of with Bo Jackson
Baseball
is when he climbed the
Sideways?
fence against
Oh
the
yeah,
Royals.
that was nice.
That was one of the most incredible things I've ever seen.
That was nice.
And we
I'm
talk
like,
about
that's the only man on the planet that can do
Austin
that.
Hedges and Straw. Now.
Oh, my
You got
God.
dude running up inside of a gate like a billy goat.
And when he hit the ball, my God, the power.
All right, number 3.
Yeah.
This guy did cash in. It just wasn't legal at the time. Reggie Bush.
Oh, he got the bag though.
Like, we know he cashed in. We know he would have done
Give
well.
him his Heisman Trophy back.
Yeah, it's so
How proud
stupid.
is
They
that?
took it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, shout out to Wick Loretta. I'll text you later. Y'all was actually already getting the bag. He was already winning.
Number 2.
This guy doesn't need money. He comes from a family of money, and I know he's not the most popular in Cleveland, but Johnny freaking Football back during his heyday at A&M was the
People think
most
I don't like
popular
Baker
dude.
Mayfield. I really don't like this guy. He is garbage.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie, man. Johnny Manziel was. We even drafted him into our culture, bro. He was like, he started off white. He ended up light skinned after a while. They got Drake. He hanging out. He doing this. Everybody
was doing that.
Everybody.
Oh my God.
He used to get sacked and they used
You
to
know
do
what else
that.
he was doing a lot of?
A whole lot.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Woo, y'all is crazy today.
It's hot takes today,
Man.
Maybe later I'll tell you what he was doing in the high roller room the night before his first game. I shouldn't have said that. All right, go ahead. Number 1.
And number 1, Tim Tebow.
Of course, it's Tim Tebow.
Hey, man.
Every
Hey.
church, I mean, anything that ever wanted
Did you say church?
everything would have been on Tim Tebow.
Tim
Man,
Tebow.
you say a white guy in church in football.
Hey,
There's a lot of money.
Tim Tebow would have been out there with a collection plate at midfield. Tithes and offerings. Let's get it going.
Pay for your sins. Pay for your sins.
Christian Mingle.
Y'all going out tonight, pay for your sins before you go.
That offering plate for Tim Tebow, boy.
I'll be honest, I used to hate Tim Tebow, and now I guess I've decided he's not a phony. I always thought it was all phony.
But he's for real.
And now I just hate his fans because his fans are really annoying.
You know he got that cryo. Y'all see this little cryo freezing type like commercial? No. Tim Tebow got this commercial with his like wife where I think they freeze their bodies or something. Don't lie.
Cryotherapy?
Yeah, it's like cryotherapy. He's freezing their bodies.
LeBron does that, doesn't he?
LeBron does it.
The name that you forgot is Manti Te'o. He would have had a whole line of girls.
Oh yeah,
He could have started his own
fake girlfriend.
Tinder and all that. He would have been the main face for it.
You're right.
You're right.
Tinder and everything else every day.
No, that's a good one.
That's a
big
good
miss
list,
on
though.
me.
I like that list.
It's been a while since Bo gave me a
Hold on.
good
You have to
list.
give Mikey credit because after yesterday's list.
That was
It was awful. But today,
don't even
you're
know.
spot on.
Wait, what was the subject of yesterday's list?
It was
That's so bad,
mind-numbing
I can't
TV
even
shows
remember.
that I liked, and they took offense to. It's my
put it out
list.
of our
I make
memory.
it every day. It's my opinion. But
Don't
real
get
quick
mad,
before we
Mikey.
move on,
Don't get mad,
Bull
Mikey.
mentioned Vince Young coming to Ohio State.
Why y'all
No,
G. Bush mentioned,
I don't-
excuse me, beating the Buckeyes in the horseshoe. And that brings us to a topic that I've been wanting to talk about. I had a conversation with Tyvis before
Did you?
this. Yes, we did, Tyvis. Let's take the video, Steve, 135.
Watch yourself.
247 released the most terrifying college football environments. And to my surprise, Ohio State was not on it. But
they
Tyvis
played
seems
y'all.
to think it doesn't deserve to be.
Yeah.
Tyvis?
All right, to me, now don't get me wrong, I love Ohio State and I love the shoe. The atmosphere is great, especially at night. But it just
It's not that.
It's not that loud.
It ain't
like
that.
it's not that crazy.
It ain't crazy.
Like I said, I've been to Penn State where where they get loud and they up the entire game. And like I feel it on the field. I can feel the field vibrate. But like at State, the only time I've ever felt that is on third down in the night game. That's about it.
Does it have to do with the shape of the stadium?
As a person, I'm a tried and true Buckeye, right? And so I mean, it's just a great classic venue. If you're a historian of the game, you want to play in the Ohio Stadium, but it is not that place.
It's not that scary.
It's not that place.
What it is. In Columbus so spread out. They got a lot of businesses down there. Real talk, it'd be a lot of business people down there. It's a college town, but it's so big. Like you go to Mountaineer Stadium, you go to West Virginia, you know you in West Virginia. That's all they got. They gonna pull up, that's all they gonna do. Like if you go, but State, this is like, they're nice. These are business people. They got clients in the stands.
Saying the fans are too classy? I thought Buckeye fans had a bad reputation. They're not classy.
They have younger fans. They got an older base. Like I said, it's just not built like it's not that.
Yeah, they show up and I mean they support you, but it's like as an opposing team, there's not like a fear to.
You're saying Michigan Stadium is tougher.
No.
It was on the top 10.
I don't even think Michigan is
Michigan
like that.
Maybe when we in town, but the rest of them like no. I said to this day, the hardest stadium in the Big Ten is to play in is Penn State's easily. It's not even close.
Now here's the thing too. Like people,
and I was a close second.
They don't do things to amp stuff like you got to have iconic stuff, right? When Chief Osceola come out with a flame-lit spear on a regular steed, that's devastating. When the Oregon Ducks come out in some creative spacesuits and they got Daffy Duck, that's Daffy Duck by the way, on that motorcycle running down the middle of the street, that's crazy. The Colorado Buffaloes have a literal buffalo.
Yeah.
Like. Ohio State comes out with their arms wrapped like we're friends. We're good. We're a band of brothers.
No, we're about to pound you, but
it doesn't matter because we're gonna win the game.
We're gonna pound you. But some of them other like at Kyle Stadium, like when you in Texas A&M. The whole thing be slaying. It's
the Buckeyes, you're saying they're like the Nick Chubb of college football.
Yeah, they just come out.
They hand the ball to the ref. Yeah,
you know, they be up 70-5 or something. They be winning.
It's great. We win, and it's nice. We have a great time in the shoe. Don't get me wrong. It's a great atmosphere. If you've never been, definitely check it out. But to be an opposing team, I don't think that they're that scared.
I don't think, but to Tyler's point, Penn State is tough. I don't think there are many venues in the Big Ten like that. It's just not built like that.
If you catch Iowa at night, it's a little different.
That's what I said. Iowa at night. That's what I didn't get a chance to go to Iowa and play, but from what I hear, it's like that.
It's like Iowa at night is but there's a lot of teams. Notre Dame, Michigan.
Notre Dame's not like that either.
It's
the history of the game that you're going to these venues. Because I can guarantee if you're a player from an opposing place and you get to play in Ohio Stadium or you get to play in Notre Dame Stadium or you get to play in the Coliseum in California, USC, you want to be there, right? Because the history of the game takes you there. It's like me as a ball player. I had to be in that garden.
All right.
I had to be in two gardens: the Boston Garden, the original Boston Garden, and Madison Square Garden.
To play there. That meant something.
It meant something.
Like a baseball player wants to play at Wrigley Field or Yankee Stadium or Fenway Park.
I remember when Marvin Gaye with the aviator shades at the forum. Oh boy, I was like, whoa, these are real stars out here. I had never seen black people moving around like that. I was like, they got these dudes on the front row just moving people. I was like, all right, that's crazy.
We got to do our weigh-in update. Here we go.
All right, let's take this week's stats, Steve. 155.
Let's be honest. I don't know about G. I am off the rails.
Last week it was tough for me.
I'm forcing myself to continue to do this thing because I committed to it. Eventually I'll get back on track, but I'm embarrassing myself right now. I gained a pound.
And G. Bush lost a pound.
G lost a pound.
So I gained. Listen. I just tried to maintain this week. The 4th of July got up on my the 4th. It hurt me. My mom.
What'd you eat on the 4th of July?
All kind of pie.
How come I didn't get invited over the 4th of July?
Well, listen, you down? We down in Kent.
What kind of pie?
We have.
Yeah. What kind of pie?
We had sweet potatoes. We had apple pie.
Okay, I had
we had 3 different types of cheesecake. It was a chocolate truffle cheesecake, a regular cheesecake.
You couldn't say no,
bro. No.
And your mom makes all this?
My mom didn't make all of it.
You got to think of that. You lost sight of what's important.
Like I was just trying to
No, he didn't. He wanted to eat. That was important.
And then what I did, I just tried to I kind of passed out. I went to sleep. You ain't used to eating. And I went to sleep.
You had itis?
And then,
like it was Thanksgiving.
I was in this old recliner.
Food coma.
And then I was just passed out. And then I got up. I was ashamed of myself because I was telling myself that I was ashamed. Like I thought
Did you have like a spoon on your stomach when you woke up?
It was a plate right there. It was like a plate. And then I woke up and then ate the rest of the plate.
All right. So
before we go to final takes, though, shout out to Marcus Collins, who's kicking both your butts. He sends us in his update every week. Marcus, he did put on a pound this week, but he's still down.
Marcus,
10
hang
since
in there.
So Marcus, thank you for continuing to stay committed.
Thank you,
to this
Marcus.
And
channel.
I'm smoking both you, Marcus and Bull. I'm smoking both of y'all. Y'all better get on your job this week.
This week. Too much belly.
All right, final takes.
All right, final takes.
They hilarious.
Brad, you're up first.
Oh, my God. All right. You guys are funny. All right, so my final take is this. In the year of Title IX and what's happening with women's sports in this country, I think the WNBA All-Star Game is this weekend. I want you to make sure that I put a plug in for this. It is time to bring the Rockers back to Cleveland. I miss them. I really miss them, right? I enjoyed their time here, and I know that we got out the game before the game was ready. The game has grown to such a way now that I think there are more teams here that have to be included in the expansion of the WNBA. And I want Cleveland to be that location because it had a solid fan base. It still continues to have a solid fan base. Put a team back here in Cleveland. If the guys that listen to me over at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, bring the Cleveland Rockers back.
Maybe your daughter can play for them.
That'd be nice if they could do it within the next 21 years. I got a guard and a big man, big woman.
Big woman
coming. They're gonna be the tag team duos.
All right, Tyvus.
All right, so usually I do my takes on something different, but today I'm keeping it sports related. Okay. Last night I was sitting there and I'm watching the OKC play the Jazz, and I'm watching the Summer League game. And, I've heard all this hype about Chet Holmgren, and I'm like, let me see it. Let's see what it looks like. And he went out there, and he had an amazing game. And don't get me wrong, it's the Summer League. But I'm buying it, man. OKC going to make it to the playoffs this season. You heard it first. I really believe Chet Holmgren is a piece that they need. He did everything well last night, whether it was shooting. He blocked Taco Fall, who's like 7'6". He had like 6 blocks on the game. I'm buying the hype on the OKC Thunder this season with them making it to the playoffs with SGA and Josh Giddey and Chet Holmgren. Buy in now.
OKC getting in early.
It's an egregious take, Tyvus, but I will say that did have 6 blocks last night, which is a new Summer League record.
Did you watch
Summer League, Tyvus? You want to get carried away.
I know.
6 blocks.
I didn't want to listen.
And he said
he was.
That's the record?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to break it tomorrow night.
Listen,
so he was invested.
He came down, hit behind the back, the no-look pass. This is a 7-footer. Shoot the 3 good, play great defense.
The guy did it against bagging groceries.
I believe the hype.
I like Holmgren, but let's not get here. This is Summer League. I went for 40 in the Summer League games.
Hey, tell him. Hey, let him know.
And this is against real players. Cliff Listen, Reggie Theus, Spud Webb. I went for it's Summer League.
It's Summer League, right?
It's Summer League.
Hey, when that first game hit, it'd be.
We gonna revisit.
I like. It's Summer League.
We're going to revisit this topic by the end of the year next year.
Y'all in the playoffs.
Y'all going to be like, Tyvus was right.
Have that ready. Go.
See, I'm on a whole new level in this take. Here's what we need to do. I've been thinking of a great segment. What I need this to happen is football season is coming around. Me and Bull, we've been eating a lot of different stuff. We've been all doing our thing. But to take our weight loss journey to the next level, we need to have a what you eating segment. We need to get Michael Simon in here. Ooh. We need to get WKYC to get us some flat grills, something here. And we need to show the people out there what you need to be cooking, some recipes, some low-calorie recipes that you can eat guilt-free. We need to get the stoves in here. Michael Simon to come in here, talk about some of the different things, maybe even name a dish after us. Here's the thing. It can be done, WKYC. I'm just saying it can be done. You got the hookup, Steve, if you watching. Jay, Jay on the boat. Jay, make that call, bro. Make that call to the people. We want to have it in studio for the people. We're going to cook up a storm. We're going to have bratwurst. They're going to be low carb. I don't know how they're going to do it.
I'm about to say, are you going to, y'all taking part of this?
All of us. They're going to come over here.
Y'all on the weight loss.
No, yeah, we in here. They're going to bring
make healthy foods.
They're going to make it healthy. They're going to move all this out. We're going to have the kitchen back there.
We're going to make you a fruit salad.
And we're going to do that coming up this fall. So holler at your boy. Get it done. I'm telling you, Tegna, stop playing with your boy. He'll do it.
I'll be down
Agreed.
for that for sure.
We need more food on this show, without a doubt. All right. So 75 years ago, Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier in April, as we all know, became the first black player in the majors. But a few months after that, Larry Doby became the second black player in the majors and the first black player in the American League. Yesterday was the 75th anniversary, and Jackie Robinson, deservedly so, gets a ton of credit for what he had to endure. And I don't bring up Larry Doby to take away anything from Jackie Robinson, but it is odd that Larry Doby has not, outside of Cleveland and maybe New Jersey, where he lived and died actually in the same town my wife grew up in, he doesn't get talked about a lot. No. And it was only a couple of months after Jackie Robinson, and it wasn't like things got any easier for him in Cleveland. You know, Larry Doby also had to go through something that Jackie Robinson didn't. Jackie Robinson played a year in the minor leagues, which was, I'm sure, awful for him, but at least he got to go through a period of adjustment before he made his major league debut. Larry Doby never played in the minor leagues. He went straight to the majors. And so there was no period of adjustment for him. Now, some of his teammates, in fact, I spoke to Larry Doby's son, I can't remember when it was exactly. It was a couple of years ago. He was a really nice guy, Larry Doby Jr., and he is actually a roadie for Billy Joel. He's been working on Billy Joel's road crew for many years. And he told me that his father had a few teammates that were, respectful and cared for him and treated him well, but a lot of his teammates didn't, and to the day he died, it was obviously horrible for him. Things have changed in a lot of ways, but things have not totally changed. We are still going through a lot of these things when you look at football and you look at the coaching situation, the fact that there are almost no black coaches in the NFL. The Rooney Rule has failed. I think when these subjects get brought up, a lot of people that get bothered by any time race is brought up will often say, well, the job should just go to the best man or woman for the job. And I think in a perfect world, we'd all agree with that. The most qualified person should get a job. But the reality is that not everybody's starting from the same place. If every owner in the NFL is an 80-year-old white guy, well, then a black guy's not good. Even if it's not, I'm not saying they're all racist. Some of them probably are. Some of them, they're just around other old white guys. So when you're around people that are white all the time, or whatever, in this case, white all the time, you just naturally, even if you're not a racist, going to be like, well, maybe I'm more comfortable with this guy. Maybe I don't even realize it. Maybe it's subconscious. So yeah, in a perfect world, I'd love to say the best man or woman gets the job. That's how it should be. But we're not in a perfect world. And if not everybody's starting from the same plane, then there has to be something done to give everybody an equal chance. I wish I had the answer to how to make that happen. Unfortunately, I don't. We need to get all the great minds together and figure out, because the Rooney Rule has failed miserably in the NFL. There's no excuse when 3/4 of the players in the NFL are black that less than 10% of the coaches are. Why? It has nothing to do with a lack of qualification. We've seen that. Not to mention, for the most part, when a black coach is given a chance, he's often stuck on bad teams. A lot of times he's put on a team with no chance to have success, and black coaches are very rarely given a second opportunity if they don't have success right away. This needs to change. And listen, this doesn't mean that every time a black coach gets fired, it's unfair. Sometimes, when Hugh Jackson got fired, it was plenty fair. Sometimes it's fair, sometimes it's not. But it's not an equal playing field. So don't sit here and roll your eyes at me and say, oh, why does everything have to be about race? Not everything's about race. This is about race. And if you can't see the reality of that, I don't know what you're looking at. There you go. That's it, guys.
He said it.
I'm gonna tell you what. That was Bull. That was a great take.
I like
that. It was a great take.
It was a good one.
Thank you. Because many people don't know the story of Larry Doby, and then you're just putting out on in the atmosphere what many people talk about offline here, right? And
right.
So you just wanted to be fair.
It's a real conversation. Larry Doby went through and again, I feel like sometimes when you say Larry Doby went through as much as Jackie Robinson, in a way it feels like you're diminishing Jackie Robinson. Nobody's diminishing Jackie Robinson. I'm certainly not. But Larry Doby had to go through as much awfulness as Jackie Robinson did, and yet his number should be retired too. We should celebrate his debut in baseball as well on July 5th. There should be a Larry Doby Day. I think Major League Baseball has done a bad job not acknowledging that more.
You know what the best part about it is, and I'm just not tweeting our own or honking our own horn, you're not going to get that from nowhere else in the business. Mm-mm. You could turn on radio, you could turn on television, you could turn on in the newspaper, wherever you want. You're not going to get that straight, raw emotion where people is able to speak in an articulate way about some things that they say you ain't supposed to talk about. That's why this show is important, because you hear stuff like that.
Hey, 75 years ago, there wouldn't have been a Jew and 3 black guys on a TV show.
I don't know.
They were hating on all of us. And things have changed. In a lot of ways for the better. In some ways, we still got a long way to go. All right, Mikey, who do we got on tomorrow's show?
We have Aditi back. We have Shehan Jararaja, CBS national college football writer, talking realignment and Buckeyes. He helped break that possible Big 12 expansion story yesterday.
Right.
So he's joining us, and we're working on some others. So stay tuned.
Yeah, we'll get more into that tomorrow. Tyvis, good to see you. Tyvis, do you want to mention where you were last week? We talked.
Did I not talk about that?
Yeah. No, you did.
Oh, I went to the Big Ten experience. You know, it's basically a broadcasting boot camp for the Big Ten.
Okay.
They broke it down into 3 sections: studio session, digital session, and then I did play-by-play, which was color commentary.
Excellent.
It was the best week of my life that I've had in a very long time. I got to reconnect with some friends, and I thought I really excelled in all aspects of those 3 phases. I got some really good feedback from them, so just keep praying for me. Keep your fingers crossed. Hopefully something happens with me in the fall. It will be
something's definitely going to happen. Tyvis is an up-and-comer, no doubt.
You keep doing it because you got a lot of talent, young fella. You just keep coming.
They write one of those what was it, Cleveland Scene or whatever, writes like up-and-comers of young people. Tyvis is an up-and-comer in this town more than any other young guy in this business, no doubt.
And if you make that, they put you on. I made it last year, and look where I'm at. I think Tyvis is a great example of somebody that is transitioning well from sports to the booth.
I appreciate it.
And once he starts making that big TV money, the really big TV money, then he's going to buy us meals.
Then y'all come to Nobu. Come to Nobu.
Contract as a broadcaster.
We would definitely celebrate at Nobu if I signed me a big deal. And I want to leave y'all with one thought. If anybody has kids and your kid asks you for something, just do what my shirt says. You tell your kid to go ask their mother so you don't get in trouble. Because it doesn't make sense for you as a father to get in trouble with the kid. So, you just put it on the mother, do the right thing, and let the mother make the decision, because happy wife, happy life.
My son last night, it was like 8:45. It was almost time to go to bed. He's like, Daddy, because I was finishing up some work, he's like, can I play Minecraft for 10 minutes before bed? And I thought about it for a second. I said, go ask me. That's it.
And McNuggets, can we end the show?
Yeah, I think it's time to end the show.
You're a little pushy today, McNuggets.
Hey, someone's got to keep us in line here.
We were in line perfectly fine, by the way. But usually we're rushing against the clock 1:10. We're not. So
no, I know. This is a pleasant surprise, but you got to keep the people wanting more if we give them all the little tidbits. Tyvis is back tomorrow, right, Tyvis?
Yeah, I'll be back tomorrow.
Tyvis is back
so Brad, you're not in tomorrow.
Oh, I'm in tomorrow, but I'm off my 10 days. I'm on my second. I'm back to regular rotation.
I thought you were in Friday.
No, I'm not in tomorrow.
Right.
I thought tomorrow was Friday.
Right, so Tyvis and Mike.
But I am off my 10-day. I'm back to start a rotation again.
So Tyvis and Mike Polkin, G and I tomorrow, and then Mikey McNuggets, who's a little pushy today, will be on the panel on Friday.
If you think I'm pushy behind the glass, wait till I'm sitting in Tyvis' chair.
Dang, I wish I was here on Friday.
Blood.
I might throw you into one of the TVs, G. Bush didn't even realize we're here. That might be happening.
You better not go
I'm
call.
throwing him right
Man,
now.
I wish I was here on Friday to see that. But Friday is my
Must
oldest.
watch TV.
It'll be my oldest daughter's birthday.
Happy birthday. How old is she?
She'll be turning 2 on Friday.
Nice. 2.
I know. Terrible.
By the way, when a kid turns
twos.
1 and 2, it's like the birthday's a waste of time. They don't know what's going on.
Yeah, that's exactly how we
right?
felt this year.
It's the birthday's for the adults.
That's true.
Birthday's for you and your wife.
That's a fact.
It's not for the kids. They're not going to remember any of that. But it's good. Have a good time.
Terrible twos coming up.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Ultimate Cleveland Sports.
Peace.